Okay. Salute to the nation, man. We are in the building. Finally. Sorry about that. I thought we were on already. We got a very special guest. We got Mr. Angelo Reyes in the building. It's been a long time coming. We've been trying to put this together for quite some time, but we were finally able to come together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Roll that intro real quick.
Yeah, let's get it. Here we go. Welcome to the Nation's channel, man. Angelo, how we living, man?
We doing all right, transplant life, blessed to be alive as always.
Yes,
Salute
sir.
to everybody on the chat. Sorry about earlier there, guys, but we
Yeah.
are on live right now. Shout out to Afkasi Raider. I saw you had him and Leo on a couple of weeks ago, so that's really cool. Tony's in the building. Ray Love, nice. Always nice to see the boys on a Saturday morning. You're looking healthier, so I like that, Jason. You feeling much better now, right?
Man, bounce back, man. I was like a couple weeks ago, one of the weekends I was in the fetal position. You know what I mean? It was just bad. I was going through the fever, dizziness, and all this kind of crazy stuff. Because, like we were talking about, I work with a community that, kind of can be a little ill. So like, we're always going back and forth. So, who knows where I got it. But man, once I got it, it had me. But it feels good. It was just kind of catching up on like my strength and stuff like that. So that's why I just had to rest up last weekend and get back vibing.
Now, I'm glad you're telling us that too, and we're starting off with that because all month this month, it's been not only Mental Health Awareness Month, so May is Mental Health Awareness Month, but it's also for people like me, it's Hepatitis Awareness Month, right? And and the FDA and the CDC is now really getting on it with the United States, but that's what caused me to almost die. 23 months ago, where they told me I only had 30 days to live. And it's because I was born with a disease called chronic hepatitis B, where you could be born with it and you don't even know you have it. And then, one day you start to feel a little bit sick. Then next thing you know, you're dying, dude. And that's, so this month being Hepatitis Awareness Month, I'm just always asking everyone in Raider Nation, like, look, if you guys haven't even heard of this before, if you haven't gotten your liver panel on your blood work yet, and you haven't gotten a hepatitis panel, please go get it, because again, it's called a silent killer for a reason. It's the number one cause for liver cancer throughout the world. If the FDA just put a point that if 3 people had hepatitis, 2 of them wouldn't know that they have it. That's how like much the stats are, where 2 out of 3 people don't even know that they actually have it in them. And you can get like hepatitis A, Jason, through, like you said, through anything, right?
Yeah.
But chronic hep B, you can get that just by being born. And then hepatitis C, which is a really popular one that could also be affecting Raider Nation, because that's the one that you get through like getting the tattoos back in the day, and stuff like that. So, and then you get to about, getting closer to your 50s like me, or you're getting past that and you're thinking you're okay, but you don't know why you're feeling sick, like kind of how you were feeling the other day. It's worthwhile just to get the blood work to get your liver function checked, because sometimes that's actually the the thing that's bothering you, but you didn't see it coming, and it's better to see it early rather than to see it late. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
it's and I'm glad you brought that up about
mental health
mental health
awareness.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a big struggle in our our community, even with like the like I was telling you, I do the work in the elderly community, and we deal with a lot of social isolation as they get older, as the cognitive decline becomes a little bit more. They start losing interest in stuff, and it's daily engagements that we have to give. Like, we check on our clients, we try to every at least 2 to 3 times a week, just within that 5 days, and just to make sure they're okay, that they're not checking out, and that we give the confidence to them that they're not, because a lot of them feel like they're in the way, and because they're they need more support. So it depresses them that they need to depend on people, but we're all in this thing together. Like, we're all here to help. Like, when I see this community, I always think of, because I was adopted, and if they were how most people's parents age. My adopted parents were old enough to be like my grandparents, so
Wow.
I I've been I was raised and still with all the goodness of that generation, and they've been through it all. So, like, I always see the clients as the people that raised me. So I'm always trying to help, always trying to outstand kind of extend myself out to the community. So
No, that's awesome. That's really great that you chose a profession and where you want to actually give back to
yeah,
to the community that raised you too,
yeah,
which is great. And I'm glad you're talking about that, the mental health part, because I think that's part of the reason why, like, you do a show like yours, right?
yeah, yeah,
And it actually is really good for mental health if you really think about it, because you have the Raider Nation kind of listening in on all this fun information, and neither you or I are like, we don't work for the Raiders, it's not like they're paying us to talk
yeah,
about how much we want to see them succeed, or we want to see everybody do well. So but I also think that in a lot of capacity, like I talk about it, having been at the Protect the Shield podcast, or Captain Jack Rackham channel, or Turf's channel, or
yeah,
Rundowns, or TRS, or any of these guys, right? Is that for me, it's been really therapeutic, because having I'm still in the recovery stages of the liver transplant, right?
yeah,
So I go from, hey, you're gonna die in 30 days to, okay, you have this second chance at life, and that slow recovery happening. Like, right now I'm 22 months post, and it's successful so far. But if all I did was sit here, right? Like, I'm sure you know this with some of your patients that you have to deal
yeah.
with. If all they did was sit there and all they thought about was their mortality and what's going on with them, it'd probably drive them crazy.
Oh yeah,
So it's that's kind of like what you do, is you go out there and you help with the mental health, and
yeah,
you kind of, like, like, in the moments where they're present, right? You're able to help guide them and help make them feel welcomed into the world. And for a lot of us dealing with chronic illness, that's what shows like yours do. Raider Nation, Jason, that channel, you're welcoming people who can't go to the very places you're going to get a chance to go this year. I don't know how many games you're going to try to make it to, or how many tailgates you're going to get to go to, but some of us who have the chronic illness, we're not going to be able to go to those, because we can't, man. We just
yeah.
can't.
Man, I appreciate you sharing that too, man. Like, because it gives I don't know, it just puts it in another like another light. I I like how you talked about how when you found you first it was all bad, and then you got that second you get that second chance. And I know, like, because I've been given a second chance, I've been given 20 second chances, you know what I mean? So it's like, I know how it feels to, when you get that second chance, you're not gonna let it go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it gives it. You look at life a lot different, because we take a lot of things for granted, and then sometimes it takes things like that to kind of get us to focus in, because it's life or death. It's, we got to take care of ourselves, and even though we have to sacrifice, but it's a good sacrifice because we're sacrificing for, you know, us being able to be with our family longer, being able
Right.
to, you know, be here and catch more Raider games. You know what I mean? Like be able to, to be
No,
able to
it's
see it.
funny though, because I was just talking about this with Stuart Schwagert's a friend of mine. You guys know Stu. You know, he's one of the last players that Al Davis himself personally picked, right? And
Yeah.
personally called and you know, he's a great, I mean, when you talk about just what it means to be a Raider, you know, Stuart Schwagert, who's in the Hall of Fame for Purdue. And I know I still tell, you know, he doesn't like it when I say it, but I always tell him I think he's the best defensive player to ever come out of Purdue. If you were just looking at just pure college stats, right? And all the things that he did in college. But when he played for us as a Raider, that was a guy who played, you know, 100% all the time, right? Like balls out, didn't cheat the game, went for it all. You know, oftentimes when I'm talking to Stu, we're more so talking about life, right? And we're always just talking about like how important life is and the mental health aspect of life, because just like you said, Jason, it matters where we came from and it matters where we've been, but where are you at right now and what are you doing right now to move forward in a positive light is every bit as important, if not more important, because yes, you know, if we get a chance to wake up tomorrow again and, you know, we get a chance to have a life, then that's one more day that we got. And like you said, we never really know. And we never really know, man. I think sometimes that is taken for granted, that you think you'll be alive, but how do you really know? You know?
That's true. That's so true, man. Like, because I don't know, I grew up, like I said, in Oakland, and like there, you know, a lot of people don't make it to 16, 18, you know, so like there was a point I thought I would be in that group, and when you make it past that, you're like, oh shit, okay. You know what I mean? It sounds weird. It's so crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but you know,
no, it doesn't sound crazy at all, man. There's a whole like that mentality you're talking about. You know, me when coming from the boxing world, that's what I was doing prior to the liver transplant. Is I was training professional boxers and professional fighters in mixed martial arts, and some of the best fighters came from that very background. Of, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm 14 years old. I'm 15 years old. It's crime all around me all the time, or who knows what tomorrow is going to bring. And they're able to access going into that gym and then turning their life around using the sport of boxing. And it's the same for football. Like we've heard that same story in the NFL on some of the best football players. They didn't exactly come from perfect homes, you know what I mean? They're like perfect neighborhoods, right? And I think that's the same in all sport, but it's again, it's what you do with your time, or it's what you do leading up into the future. I mean, you're not so old that you can't help change the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Jason, you're still young enough that you're still out there making changes for the betterment of society. You know?
Yeah, trying to, man. Like it's, you know, it's because at the end of the day, like you look back at your life, and when I was younger, I was so selfish. Like, to be honest, I was selfish. I just because there was I had a chip on my shoulder. Because just like all the people that doubted me, all the people that said I wouldn't do this, wouldn't do that. So I used that as a fire, man, like really to just go for it. You know, like I was the type, I was never scared of anything, like win, loss, whatever. I would just do it because it's like I didn't know how to, I don't know, like cower. You know what I mean? I just, believe me, I'll take my lumps for it. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things that, like, you know, I'd rather live like that because, you know, you got to attack things full on. And then sometimes, you know, it's not going to go the best, but it's all about, because, you know, we get handed different situations, you know, and it's all mental, because it's how you choose to take it and attack it. You know what I mean? You can let it get the best of you, let it tear you down, just let it take you on that downward spiral. Because I've been there too. So it's like I've seen both sides of it. Yeah. But nobody likes excuses. Nobody likes, because I've made my fair share of excuses, you know, in my younger days. But at the end of the day, nobody wants excuses. They want results. So that's why I just, you know, when I mess up, I work harder. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where that's how I that's how I get through it. I'm tough on myself. So I used to kind of beat myself up and all this kind of stuff. So now I just work harder because you can't go wrong if you work hard. So
no, just always remember too, Jason, like you said, like you're almost a decade younger than me, but hey, Afkasi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, salute, brothers. Salute to the chat too, guys. Thank you so much for putting out all of the chats. We really appreciate it. But no, I was just gonna say, Jason, that every morning you wake up, man, you get to look at that mirror, dude, and you're looking at yourself. Just if you're happy with what you got, then great, and you could always do better. So great. But if you got a chance to wake up and even look at a mirror, then that's amazing. So oh no, Ray Love's already talking to us about now guys, I want to let you know that today is a big fight day, not just because of UFC 302, but in about 2 hours, Ray Love, we have the first ever 5 versus 5 of boxing that's happening in Saudi Arabia in the kingdom at Riyadh. And it's Deontay Wilder's back, guys. It's Deontay Wilder versus Zhilei Zhang. And Zhilei Zhang is the Chinese powerhouse who's got like a 95% knockout ratio. And he's 6'6", he weighed in at 282. Deontay was 6'6", weighed in at 214. So there's a 70-pound difference right there. Like I'm sure you've been in your share of fights, Jason, but try to imagine fighting a dude maybe same height as you, but got like 70 pounds on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, oof.
Yeah, that's a big that's a big little gap right there. You just got to strike, get in there.
Everybody says that it's going to be one. It's scheduled for 12 rounds, but at any given point it can end because obviously both of them have one punch power. So yeah, no, Ray, since you brought up the fight game for tonight, the UFC starts I think at like 4, but the boxing starts at 11. So it's a big fight day. I don't know. Do you pay attention to it at all though, Jason?
I do. Some of them I do. This one I haven't really because the names on this one Mecca.
So this is for the 155-pound UFC championship. Islam Makhachev, he's considered to be the best 155 pounds. I think Poirier is a plus 500, but I'm gonna tell you right now, Ray Love, man, my heart and my wallet's going with Dustin Poirier, man.
Poirier, yeah.
I can't go against Poirier, the guy. Every time people go against Dustin Poirier, he always somehow comes back. And I think statistically, I was looking at it the other day. He's never lost in June. He's never lost in the month of June. And I think he's never lost a title fight or some sort of 5-rounder in the month of June. So I don't know. I just feel like Dustin Poirier might pull it off, which would be huge, by the way. I know that you're not like deep into it, Jason, but if Dustin Poirier pulls it off, it'd be a huge upset. But he'd legitimately become one of the best UFC 155 pounders ever in the history of the sport if he could win tonight. So so that's who I'm picking, Ray. That's who I got.
Yeah, I'm a follow, man, because I don't know who the other dude is. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research, but I know Dustin Poirier, so I would go with him for now.
Tony says Raiders are gonna have 95% knockout power this season. I like that, Tony Shepard. I think we will have actually a lot of knockout power, right, Jason? We were talking about that on the pregame. I hate that. I haven't even really been paying attention to PFF anymore because I feel like the whole articles or their narrative for the Raiders, they're just hating on us. Yeah, I don't really know why. I'm like, why are you hating on us so bad? Like, we didn't do nothing to PFF.
I always think it's betting. For betting reasons. You know what I mean? I always feel like they doubt us so they could take the over and then pump us with the the Raiders are only gonna win 5 to 6 games. Like, I doubt that.
Yeah, no, come on, man. It's like, and I really don't understand the narrative of why they have the Chargers winning so many games. Yeah, like everybody should know that a head coach doesn't just like I don't know. I mean, maybe because the Texans did so well last year off of one move where they drafted well and then they got DeMeco Ryan as the coach. But I mean, I also think that that's partly because of the division, man. Like, you know, I mean, I get it. The Texans are cool, but I think it's partly because of the division too, right? Versus the Raiders. I mean, Denver, I don't think is going to do that well. And I didn't think the Chargers, I thought the Chargers might maybe win 4 games at the most.
See, I was saying about 5, maybe 5. I was giving them 5, maybe.
Yeah.
But see, like Denver, well, okay, so remember before the draft, right? Remember everybody was saying like Bo Nix was probably the last quarterback, you know, not that good, all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, everybody's pumping this dude up. He might be the next Drew Brees. Now that, you know what I mean? In Broncos camp, saying he's this and that. And then, you know, Raider Nation really didn't want Bo Nix. That was kind of like the least. That was probably the last.
We did not want Bo Nix.
Yeah, that was the last quarterback.
Like no. I mean, no hate on Bo Nix, and if he does great in Broncos country, then awesome, good for you, bro. But that we did not like. I think that so much. I don't know. I guess if we were speaking on a political sense of Raider Nation, half of us were all in on Aiden O'Connell, man. Like, I know they like mainstream media always puts this narrative out that that somehow we don't like Aiden O'Connell, but I like Aiden O'Connell. I know you like Aiden O'Connell, and a lot of us like we're talking good about Aiden O'Connell since last year. So I don't, you know, like I don't know where this. I think it's like the mainstream narrative was trying to make it sexy for us to have a quarterback controversy, and I think that the whole Jane Daniels having been coached by Antonio Pierce sort of added fuel to the fire. But I think I was telling you, Jason, that we were one bogus penalty away from us making it to the playoffs last year. That was the Jack Jones penalty at the Colts. And had we made it to the playoffs, I was one of the people saying I think we could have won the first game.
Yeah,
because we were rolling. Like, and when you hear the players like Jack Jones, he was just in the press conference this week. He was talking about what that feeling was like heading into the Denver game. Yeah, and then you saw how like there's 30 of them that stayed to train, even when the season was over, right? Just on their own time. Like we were rolling like a playoff team. So had we went to the playoffs and had we won a game in the playoffs, no one would be talking about us picking up a quarterback because our quarterback would be Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what they looked at too, was because I think that would have been, like you said, it would have been the coin flip of if we had made the playoffs, then like you said, they would have been like, okay, AOC can get it done, he can get us there. But that game was crazy too, the Indy game, because remember we were leading and not having penalties and everything like that, and then all of a sudden the old Raiders came out. You know, it's like the referees kind of gave it to us, but yeah, no, that, and I always talk about, like, again, statistically speaking, right? So when, and I know you'll get into the subject because the title is what is it? The top 5 reasons why we're gonna make it to the playoffs, right? And I know you got it on the breakdown. But I know one of those reasons is gonna be about Aiden O'Connell. And when I start breaking down some of the stats, man, and I did a whole show of Aiden O'Connell stats. I call him vitamin A12 right now, guys, because, you know, he changed the number. But on the Captain Jack Rackham channel, I did a whole stat thing. When you see some of the actual stats that Aiden O'Connell produced last year, if you put them like if you put them with the Texans, for example, you would like go, oh, wow, these numbers look great. But because he was with us and then we lost the game, it made it seem like it was his fault. And it's like, well, there's a lot of reasons for why we lost these games. I mean, for one, I know on like when people go towards, like, for example, let's go to the Chargers game, right? That very first Chargers game, we put him in as a starter. Okay, first of all, he's a rookie. Okay, you're throwing him in his first game. He didn't expect to start, right? But he's like, okay, I guess I'll start. No problem, right? He's trying to learn a new system. Like,
would you give that same grace to every other rookie that year? Because if you did, you'll notice Bryce Young lost and he looked terrible. And every other rookie other than CJ Stroud did horrible. So the top two rookies that year was CJ Stroud and Aiden O'Connell. And even when you go to that first game, he plays with the Chargers and everybody goes, oh man, Aiden O'Connell had a terrible game. He was awful. Well, just so that you know, statistically speaking, Aiden O'Connell only had one interception that game. And yeah, he got sacked 7 times, but we could talk about O-line. We could talk about all the different reasons as to why he got sacked, but we lost by that one touchdown play. He was 24 completions of 39 attempts. So that's a 61.5 completion rate. He threw for 238 yards. Like, dude, that's not a bad game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if that's what we're saying is a bad game, then great. Like that, if that's the bar, if you're telling me that's his bad game and we had a chance to win, and I still never blamed that game on Aiden. I blamed that on Josh McDaniels not calling a run. Right? I mean, am I wrong, Jason?
Oh, you preaching to the choir, man. Because we almost won. We almost came back in that game. And if we had ran that ball, I say 3-4 times, we would have got in there because we were that close. And I blame McDaniels too. Like I would always say he knows better than anybody. Remember the Seattle New England game, Super Bowl, where instead of giving it to Marshawn Lynch, they threw for it, and we all know what happened after that.
Right.
So I'm like, you guys know more than anybody that run the ball. You know what I mean? Run the ball. You're that close. Just run the ball. Do what you do.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I mean is when they, I don't know if I want to call them Aiden O'Connell haters or just Aiden O'Connell doubters, but sometimes it's kind of like, I don't know, like when I'm talking, if Ray Love, he loves watching combat sports, but it's like sometimes for me, I've said this to Afakasi Raider before, where trying to talk to a fight fan who didn't do martial arts, it's really annoying sometimes because they'll say something about a fighter, but then they don't know the background of the fighter. They don't know how many amateur fights the fighter had, or how many hard fights he had to struggle in order to get to the point that he was at, because they're just watching it as a main event narrative. And then they'll say, well, that fighter sucks. And that's kind of how I feel like what happens with some of the people who don't believe in Aiden O'Connell. They just go, well, Aiden O'Connell sucks. And then they don't actually research back that in 2021, he was one of the best quarterbacks coming out of college. And had he went to the draft, he would have been drafted in the top 15. So in that 20, I think it was the 2022 draft, he would have been in the top 15 getting picked as a quarterback. But instead, he waits till the following year. And even still, remember, we traded up in the 4th to get him because other people wanted him. Yeah. So he doesn't suck, guys. Like other teams wanted Aiden O'Connell. We just happened to get him. And I think you're the one that talked a little bit about how he's got some of that Tom Brady in him, right? Yeah. Like I kind of compare myself to like a Jared Goff, but I see what you're saying about how he processes well like a Tom Brady.
Yeah, like because remember in preseason, that's what kind of impressed us too, because he was like the way he ran the huddle, it was just like he had done this. Like of course he did it before, but like in the NFL, he was doing it like, okay, I'm going here with the ball, and he would get there with the ball. And like I said, I was watching that Rams game over. He made some good, crazy throws. Like, and it's ballsy throws. You know what I mean? I could take that all day. You know what I mean? As long as because our previous quarterback sometimes would play a little, because I know, we all remember there'd be like third downs and he'd run and spike the ball and stuff like that. Like the ball can't get to the first down when you spike the ball. At least give your wide receiver a chance to make a play. That was my frustration. And it's not like we haven't seen him throw into like triple coverage and stuff like that. I mean, that's not what we're talking about. Somebody's open. If you're throwing into triple coverage, somebody's open. And see, with Aiden, it's a little different. And it's crazy because he's young. and he's already he's like he sees it before it happens, and he knows kind of how the play is going to break down and who's going to be open. And that's what you need someone that can anticipate throws. And see, like, Brady wasn't the fastest, but how many times have we seen Brady break down and run and get that first down? You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of similarities, and I'll take half of what Brady is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if we can get something like just a couple traits out of that, because I think we won with that. That was kind of a sneaky pick with Aiden.
Dude,
but
if he becomes our starter all the way through and he takes it to the playoffs this year, we stole a 4th round quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, we stole him basically. And then the narrative will change. The narrative will completely change. Unfortunately, again, because I don't know, man. I think that it was almost like so many people got swayed with the whole Jaden Daniels having the relationship with Antonio Pierce and people liking him, that, like I said, first of all, guys, you're about to see how well Jaden Daniels does, and maybe he does great, but he's playing first year in Washington, who's just trying to finally get it together. And then if they make I think it would be a terrible move, but I think they're going to do it anyways. They're going to let this kid start. And if they let this kid start, he may look amazing, like how RG3 looked. Remember when Robert Griffin III looked amazing? And then what happened, Jason? He gets injured in that first playoff game, and then he's never the same after. And that's the whole thing, man. Like Anthony Richardson last year, he was supposed to come out guns blazing, right? He gets injured in like 3 different games, and he has like a concussion, shoulders. He had a knee thing, and then they got to get him to. So that's why. And they had Gardner Minshew the whole time. They could have just said, "Well, you know what? We're going to sit you a year. We'll let your body go ahead and get used to the NFL, and then we'll go ahead and let Gardner Minshew play, and then we'll let you be the starter next year, right?" But sometimes, like, again, we're in a league or in the NFL, in the league where everybody like wants it to happen right away, And again, CJ Stroud is the exception to the rule, guys. He's not the rule. Like, there's not, like, name me another rookie quarterback that ended up taking their team to the playoff. You know what I mean? Like, he's not the rule. He's the exception. And there's a lot of different things that went well for them, partly too because of the division that they were in. That also helped.
That's a big point too. Because even though, like, they did start drafting well, they did pick up some good players, but like you said, that division is probably one of the weakest. You know what I mean? Kind of weakest there. So, well, besides the NFC South, shout to, but a little semi shot right there. But it's one of those divisions that, like, would you think he can do it again, or do you think Jacksonville can kind of bounce back?
I don't know, man. I mean, it would be the Texans themselves. It'd be hard to beat them now, just because they got belief. So first year head coach D'Amico Ryan turns an entire program around, and then their 2 draft choices, like, they became impact players, CJ Stroud and
Will Anderson.
And Will Anderson, right? They both, like, off the jump become impact players, and they're both their captains. So it's hard to say, but the difference, I think, this year is no one will take them lightly. No. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's going to look at them like an A-list game now. But they also did a lot of things. Like, they got Joe Mixon as their running back now, right? And then like, they kept upgrading. So, and then they got Stephon Diggs, dude. So, it's gonna be tough. Like on paper, they should be better, but chemistry, bro. I always say chemistry. Like, we'll see. It's a team sport, we'll see.
That's a good point too, and that can make it break, because Stephon Diggs is a great wide receiver, but can be a cancer. You know what I mean? He definitely can be a cancer if he feels he's not getting enough targets and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think the young kid, I don't know. He just has to. It's always like that. These wide receivers are gonna cry for the ball and stuff like that. But I'm throwing to the open person. It's not. We're trying to win. It's not about you and your stats and all this kind of stuff. We're trying to win. If you have 10 catches, 200 yards, cool. On the way to a win, cool. but don't mess up the groove. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let the kid cook. You know what I mean? Yeah, you were probably open, but hey, he was open too, and I seen him first. So,
and I think that's one of the things, and I know you'll bring it up later on too. But I'll say it now that us having Luke Getsy, I think it's gonna really. I did a whole show talking about how I thought Luke Getsy was a great get, and I'm glad that we didn't get Cliff Kingsbury because Luke Getsy's gonna listen to what AP wants, but I think everybody's going to be surprised at how good his offense actually is, the way he runs it. And a lot of it is very first read, throw the ball style. Like the way Luke Getsy does his system is first open guy, hit him. And that's it. Like, and so I think we're going to get a lot of that whole where we're going to march down the field and, and then it's really going to be about the red zone, right? When we get the red zone, what are we doing? I know there's going to be questions about that when it comes to Luke Getsy's offense. But man, Jason, Luke Getsy's never had an offense before where he had two premium tight ends with Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers, who's really Jacoby Myers is really a wide receiver one anywhere else in the league. Yeah. Right. So it's almost like you have two wide receiver ones, you have two tight end ones. Right. And then like you have your Trey Tuckers, you got your Michael Gallups, you got your Jalen Guytons. Like, bro, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think offensively, honestly, I know we talk a lot about how I think the Raiders are going to be top 5 defense, but don't be surprised if the Raiders are top 10 offense next year. Like, honestly, like if you're a fantasy player, man, I might pick up Aiden O'Connell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When it's time to pick up quarterbacks. Because you never know, bro. Like, I'm just saying, like, sometimes people sleep on the fact that, it's kind of like what happened with the Texans last year. I don't know how many people really researched Tank Dell or Nico Collins or anyone else, but all of a sudden the Texans are off the jump looking like this amazing offense, right? I think the Raiders could do the same this year. So, what's up, Rafa?
Hey, how's it going? Salute to you.
What's going on?
Well, I'm doing good right now. And speaking about for the defense, I think over the last season that I just saw, I mean, that was just like a little bit improvement because after the whole disaster that we just saw from Josh McDaniels and Deb Taylor, I mean, we have an opportunity because we just became like the best scoring defense in the NFL. They haven't had scoring defense at the top of their hands since like many years ago, since like the Super Bowl run. But I think that it should have had to say because that was really like he was very young, energetic, because he will mean was not be the same mistake within 3 years. But if they wanted to keep it like 100% healthy, that would be impressive because the most impressive when it comes to the defense is thanks to Patrick Graham. And I know that the first season it just really like doesn't have like it appreciated, but I think they have the opportunity. So which haven't seen like in a few years because right now it's just like the time for redemption. And I know that I have a feeling that we just had like a top 10 and imagine it could have happened at the top 5. So people are sleeping on them because we just have like the best of the best. Also, we just drafted Jackson Powers-Johnson, Brock Bowers. We just had Dylan Love, Tommy Achenberg. I mean, Trey Taylor for the Air Force. I mean, what can I say about it? So we're getting ready about it. And for that reason, I just want to love to see the process of the action because the defense is going to be absolutely blasting, but don't be sleeping on them because it's going to be like in a monster gear.
That's a good point too. That is a good point. Like I was watching the second Charger game, right? And remember when Jack Jones picked Eason off? I forget his first name, but he was in there for Herbert. And like the look on his face.
You're talking about Easton Stick, right?
Yeah, Easton Stick. Yeah, like the way he looked after what's his name jumped that route after Jack Jones jumped that route. He was like, how the fuck did he do? He was like, how did he do that? Like it was just seeing, man, like that was so good to see. Because when's the last time you seen us jumping? You know what I mean? Like jumping routes and stuff like that. Like it's crazy that I love that aggression. I love that he goes for it, and that's why I just want to see. We got this money dropping, so I think Xavier Howard already got signed, right? To was it Miami?
Yeah, I know.
Or-
Yeah, he
That's-
did. Yeah, but I mean, like when you're talking about cornerbacks, though, bro, like
Mhm.
I'm still sticking to what we got. Like
Yeah.
I'm with Jack Jones on this one. Let's rock with who we got. Like out of everybody who's into free agency, I think Stephon Gilmore is still available. He
Yeah.
would probably be the only one I would spend some money on because
Yeah.
I would want that senior, like that leadership in the room.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't want to spend that money. Like I know that today we just got the extra 24 million from Jimmy Garoppolo. So I think we got like 41 million now, right? So now that we have all that money, I'm all about re-signing Kuntz now. Let's go ahead and extend Jack Jones before 2025 now, because all the prices keep going up.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and extend who we got. We got Kuntz to extend. We got Nate Hobbs to extend. We got Jack Jones that we got to extend. We have Spillane that we should extend. Like, let's just, because chemistry, I still think is a big thing. Like when you're doing the top fives, like I still think that the number one reason why we're going to make the playoffs is because of chemistry. There's something to be said about how you get used to the people that you're around. You get used to their rhythm of how they play. You get that trust. Like, that person's got your back. So if the defensive backs are in sync with the defensive line and they all have the same rhythm with each other, and oftentimes I think it gets forgotten that just because you put a mishmash of teams together and then because they're all stars, they're somehow going to do great. It doesn't work that way. They have to at least have played with each other for a while in order to get this rhythm. That's why I think that, again, like when you like see what PFF talks about when it comes to the Raiders, and it feels like they're hating on the Raiders. It's like, wait a minute, we have the same defensive coordinator, we've improved our defensive coaching staff, and we have a lot of players going into the second year of understanding the system. Plus, we upgraded with like Christian Wilkins. You know what I mean? And it's like, what do you like? I don't understand. Like if we were already basically top 5 in the second half of last year, why would we get worse?
Exactly.
We're not getting worse. We're getting better. Like this doesn't make sense. Because we didn't choose to sign some sexy free agent. Like no, it doesn't matter. Jack Jones is still Jack Jones. The only difference is he's got another year of understanding how it works, and now he knows who's in front of him. He's got that dog mentality. I mean, like you said, Jason, like I like Jack Jones. He's got kind of like that knockout mentality. He's a little bit like Deontay Wilder, like where I'm going to knock you out, or maybe you'll catch me, but I got enough talent that I know I can knock you out. Because when you talk about him doing that interception on Easton Stick, some people who are hating on that will say, well, yeah, man, but that's against Easton Stick. By the way, he did the same thing against Patrick Mahomes on Christmas Day in Kansas.
That's
the same exact thing. It's the same exact move, same exact route. Like he didn't do like no one-handed way of doing it, but
but
bro,
he got that thing.
You want to talk about a guy who's got that dog mentality? He knew he was going to intercept the ball. He jumped to intercept the ball, and the entire time he's taking it back for the pick six, he's staring Patrick Mahomes in the eye. Like, come on, man.
I love it, man. I love that. That gave us so much hope because we had just lost the Matador. You know what I mean? We had just got rid of the Matador. So I think Jack Jones was kind of filling out that first game back. I forgot exactly who that opponent was, but then he bounced back towards a Charger game. He bounced back in that he had those back-to-back games with picks. So oh, go ahead. Yes, sir.
Okay, so talking about for the June 1st, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because we just had 42 million cap space after the first one. So if we're gonna keep picking it up, I mean, it'll be like a veteran quarterback. It seems obvious, but I don't know what other position we particularly need at this time. Maybe another linebacker. Maybe thought, because as my understanding, we just had 17 in cap space. That's a lot of plenty of room to resign to spoken about, picking about Lattimore. If that the trade is there, maybe Dan Moore for the Steelers. He can play right tackle for the Steelers. But I happen to look at it up because Xavier Howard is still available. He will like a $13 million a year, which is hefty, but who knows? But in my point, we should extend some players. Spillane, Diablo, Eds, more Hobbs. They were playing into the last year of the contract. So I don't know if we have any money left after that, because I will take care of a combination of Coons, Spillane, Hobbs, Diablo, and Warwick. That still take care about it. So we can easily cover the resigning. Start like if we had to do about for the 1st June, sign a star cornerback and grab a badass right tackle, and we still have it left over. So this like the free agency comes, because there's like a few players who still on the free agency, which is Mickey Benton from the New York Jets. Also, there's Jonah Williams for the Cincinnati Bengals, because he was requested that past offseason after he just signed for the free agent tackle. Also, there's another player who could be elected to sign it, which is Donovan Smith for the Kansas City Chiefs, fuck the Queeps. Also for Josh Fan for the Houston Texans. I mean, there's like a plenty of free agency, but the strategy is grab like the star, which is the most cheapest about, and grab a little room for the cap space of the Raiders.
Yeah. I definitely
our
feel
cap space right now, Jason, and I'll let you go. But the cap space, I'm looking it up. It's a little over 34 million. And that's because of the raise that we gave. It would have been like 41, but we gave that huge like 7 million raise to Max Crosby. So the cap number for Max Crosby this year, for just this year alone, is he's going to get paid $30.4 million. And then the next highest player we got is Devontae, who's getting paid $25.3 million. So those are our two main players that we're paying. And then it kind of scales down from that. But yeah, man, like, he deserves it.
Yeah. And see, the thing with Max, he doesn't come off the field. So I mean, it's and even when he's hurt, that man was battling through. I've never seen nobody battle through a knee injury and actually like still play. You know what I mean? Not without taking, like I'm gonna take a game off. You know what I mean? Like that boy's a hog. So I mean, really, we ain't got to worry unless he, something crazy happens. But I'm gonna show you guys this list of, because we definitely need impact players.
Yeah,
and so I know the Michael Thomas thing is gonna be like what the hell? But I just figure Michael Thomas would be an upgrade for Michael Gallup or someone. I even though they're both kind of injury prone, wouldn't that be kind of raw to see Michael Thomas, Devontae, and Jacoby? You know what I mean? With the Trey Tucker, you know what I'm saying? Like I could see.
No, I could see that. I mean, you're talking about adding more into the offense, right?
Yeah. Just because I think it would be an upgrade over Gallup's. I don't know. I kind of want to see what Guyton's gonna be, because I like the speed. I love.
Yeah, he's fast, dude.
Yeah. So
he's
I mean, I kind of I wouldn't mind being set with Devontae, Jacoby, Trey Tucker, and Guyton, and maybe Gallup. If Gallup can be, like anywhere close to what he was in Dallas, that would
I think
nice.
On one of the shows, I think I was on a Fan Talk Friday with Chris and Big Daddy Jose on the Protect the Shield podcast, and we were talking about like the 53-man roster, and I was saying that I think the way the Raiders might do the 53 just to get everybody that they want is in the tight end room. I don't think they'll carry 4 tight ends into the 53-man roster. And Harrison Bryant, Michael Mayer, and also I'm forgetting the other dude's name. He's the big boy that used to play, because Chris told me about him. He played for Michigan. No. But Cole is really good too. Cole is good. But there's this other guy. We just got him in the offseason. He was a Michigan guy. He's like 280. And he's really like another lineman. But I think if we end up, let's say we keep 3 tight ends, I think that Brock Bowers will end up in the wide receiver, because you know how you could keep like 6 wide receivers. Yeah. Right. If you're 6 to maybe 7. I think he's going to take one of the wide receiver spots so that we can have 3 tight ends. And then in the wide receivers, I think that Trey Tucker will end up being, honestly, man, I think Trey Tucker is going to surprise a lot of people. I really think Trey Tucker is like, how like Tank Dell was last year? Yeah. I thought Trey Tucker was going to be like that, but we just didn't have the system yet. Yeah. But I think Trey Tucker this year will be our Tank Dell of last year.
Yeah.
And with Jacoby and Devontae, I think Gallup and Guyton will be like kind of trying to make it to the roster. Hopefully
Yeah.
they do, but we'll see. But yeah, don't sleep on some of them other guys, man. Like again, but if we already say that Brock Bowers takes, let's say, the number 6 slot for wide receiver, then there's only going to be 5 wide receivers that we're carrying into 53.
Yeah.
So if we already have Trey, Devontae, and Jacoby, that's 3. So it's that final 2 then, like Guyton,
Yeah.
Gallup, or whoever, right?
Yeah.
So
And I think speed's going to factor into that, definitely. So, because that's the only thing really we'd be missing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it might be those 3, Tucker, Guyton. It depends on if any of the UDFA, you know what I mean, one of the UDFAs kind of pop or something like that. But we would definitely see.
yeah, you never. Yeah, I'm looking like Wilkerson's still there, right?
Yeah.
And then we did sign. Man, I'm forgetting his name right now, but we signed him to a 2-year. Turner. We signed DJ Turner
Yeah, DJ.
Oh,
to a
yes.
2-year too. Like that's what I mean. Is like I don't know. Like I think like the competition is definitely heavy for getting that 4th wide receiver. That's why they brought in Guyton and Gallup. But Turner signed. Wilkerson's still there. And then yeah, like I don't know, man. We'll see. But I think there's only like I think Bowers will end up getting like the 6th spot at wide receiver so that they can carry 3 big boys at tight end. And I think that's the whole reason why they got Harrison Bryant is because they got Michael Mayer, Harrison Bryant, and then I'm gonna find his name for you guys because Chris told me about him and I was like, what? I asked Chris, I said, what do you think? You're my Michigan guy, like tell me about him. And he says that guy's good. If he doesn't get injured, that guy is really good. So I Gentry, is it Gentry? Let me see. Michael Mayer. No, go ahead though. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh no, you're all good. Rafa, what do you feel about who do we keep as our wide receivers?
Because right now we just had a full retraction right now, but I think that we should have deserved like the Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers. But in my point right now, I think we just had to receive right now because I know that Devontae Adams is very good at all because he's a monster. But I know that Trey Tucker could be like one of the greatest picks I ever had. But I know that it's gonna be they're gonna release and say cap space, but we all know it has to be coming with Hunter Renfrow. But I know that they have the most expensive wide receiver rooms because their team is one of the has most expensive wide rooms ever in the NFL. But I know their roster portion is over, but we're having a more expensive wide receiver units. I mean, with Devontae Adams became like the wide highest received with a number 2 starter. I mean, they're very investly highest under the wide receiver. But I know that I completely with the teams right now, but I would keep it like a Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers, and Devontae Adams. So this can be like a good like rotational. Oh, I know that my internet is not working good, but I will tell you because right now Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, and Trey Tucker will have the start rotation. So you can look at the cap space, but yes.
Yeah, I think, and then like how Angelo was saying too, like if you look around, like how do we fail? Like how do we really fail with the team that we have? You know what I mean? Like I know AOC's not the sexiest quarterback, and but he gives us a chance. Like he definitely gives us a chance. And then what we've added to the team around him, all he has to do is do what he does and distribute the ball. And I think we'll definitely be okay. And then we'll get into the 5 reasons as soon as this cat stops messing with me right now. So say like call me delusional, but I think the 5 reasons we shock the world. And so the key for us is always, as we know, is getting off to a good start. We tend to kind of lose in the beginning of the season, and it's that chase to try to get into the playoffs at the end. But I feel this year will be different because there is a chance we go 6-0 to start the season. Now, like I said, call me delirious, call me delusional, but so we got the Chargers, the Ravens, the Panthers, the Browns, the Broncos, the Steelers.
Yeah, I had us 5-1, by the way, when I did that
Yeah.
show
I would beat
myself.
them.
Yeah, but
would-
I could see like Chris had us beating the Ravens for some reason, so
Yeah.
I think he had us 6-0 too, starting off. But how did you have it? I mean, like Chargers, right?
Yeah,
Like if we lose that, like then
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
gonna
All
tell
hell's
us-
gonna
that-
break loose if we-
That's gonna tell us where we are, because if we can't beat the Chargers, we can't beat the. We're not gonna be able to beat the Ravens, because I feel we can beat the Ravens just because of Lamar Jackson being who he is. You know, if we could, I think we've got better at stopping the run, so we're gonna have to force him to have to pass. That's the thing with him. He can he can run, he can make the plays when the plays break down, but if we can contain him, we can make him throw. We got a chance at beating them. Because I mean, remember when we beat them last time? Nobody expected us to beat them, you know. But it's
That's
like
true.
but we
The two things I have going against it is
Mhm.
first game of the year is Ravens versus Chiefs, right? I think so what I said to Chris is I think the Ravens could go to Kansas and beat the Chiefs, but it's got to be one of those type of matches. Like the Chiefs aren't just going to give it to them, right? But they might have that hangover, that Super Bowl hangover. So let's say they lose. Let's say the Chiefs lose the first game at home opener, and the Ravens win. The Ravens will be at a high. So that will be our window of trying to sneak in a win, because then the Ravens go home to Baltimore, but then they're coming off of that energy high of beating the Chiefs.
Mhm.
So they might like overlook us. You know what I mean? And just by overlooking us, if we go into the Ravens game after destroying the Chargers,
Mhm.
we might have a chance.
Yeah.
But other than that, I felt like if the Ravens lose a heartbreak game to the Chiefs, I don't think they're coming home to lose. Like I don't think the Ravens are going to go 0-2 to start the season.
Yeah.
So they're going to be 1-1 one way or the other. But so that's what I was saying is if they somehow beat the Chiefs, I
Mhm.
think we got a shot. But if they lose to the Chiefs, I don't think we're going to beat them at Baltimore, man. Just because
It's gonna be
I
tough.
can't see them. I can't see them like all of a sudden. But I understand what you're saying about Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Lamar's trying to pass more. You could contain him a little bit.
Yeah.
They don't have Beckham anymore, but they do have Zay Flowers. They don't have J.K. Dobbins, but they just got Derrick Henry. So it's going to take some time, right,
Yeah.
to go through that. So I see what you're saying. But I had us losing that game. I had us winning all the other games, though. All the other
Yeah.
ones you mentioned.
Hey,
That is winning.
five. Hey, I'll take 5-1 too. Because but I just feel like we could get off to a great start. But yeah, if any of those games I think we lose, it would be that one. But I feel because the thing is they got a good running game. They got Derrick Henry, so we're gonna have to stop either Derrick. I mean, and that's a cold combo that they put. Shout out to the Ravens for putting that together, because pound the ball with Derrick Henry. And then you got Lamar Jackson to close it out. You know what I mean? If they choose to kind of play that way. But yeah, that's going to be crazy. But it's doable. It's possible. Definitely possible. But like I said, even 5-1, I'd be good with that. As long as we can start off strong and we can pace our season and get to the playoffs and be able to, do some damage. Because I feel once we get in there, we're going to do some damage. We're not the Cowboys. We're going to get in there and we're going to do some damage.
Yeah, no, we're not the Cowboys, bro.
Yeah.
No, if anything, if we get into the playoffs, just always remember that our head coach is the guy that beat the greatest team that ever got built in the 17-0 Patriots. He was the leader that orchestrated the New York Giants winning the Super Bowl that year, and people tend to forget that they were the wild card team. They snuck in the playoffs as the wild card team.
9-7? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they became the Super Bowl champions, and it was because they had AP in there being the emotional team leader. So, like I said, man, like now, if we sneak in, dude, our head coach knows all about how to deal with the playoffs,
Yeah.
So yeah.
And just like I said, in fact, we're gonna talk about that too. Get this cat out of here. What are you doing? No one wants to hear from you. My bad. So, like you were saying about AP, that's another reason We have a coach that fires up his players, a coach that players want to prove belongs in the NFL. You know, they love AP. They love that he's, for one, like you said, he was a player. He's been in some big games. He stopped some people that a lot of teams weren't able to stop. You know what I mean? Because when you think about New York smacked them twice. You know what I mean? The Giants smacked the Patriots twice.
Yeah, I think that first year is really the most telling one, that 07.
Yeah.
Because again, AP was just coming into his own. It was almost like he finally got the reins to be the vocal leader of the linebacker of the defensive group. He was in fact, pumping up Michael Strahan at that time. And then he was the one that was like, kind of had the whole room believing like, hey guys, like, doesn't matter, you know, let's go shock the world, so to say. And at that time, you guys remember, that was the Randy Moss Patriots, and they
Wes
were unstoppable. 17-0. They were rolling everyone. Nobody could beat them, and the Giants spanked them, bro. Like, just like punched them in the teeth, basically. And like I said, like, the thing about the playoffs is it's a championship fight, dude. It's like, yeah, you maybe you're the better fighter, maybe, but overall, but not today, not this round, you know, like not, and that's what I mean, man. It's we get into the playoffs, I think we're scary, very scary, very scary, and also if we do what we all believe we're gonna do, like I was being conservative. I had us winning 10 games, losing 7, but being the first place in the division, which I know everybody thinks I'm crazy that the Chiefs are going to lose at least 7 games, but I'm telling you guys, I think the Chiefs are going to lose at least 7 games.
Yeah.
In the history of the NFL, like trying to go for a three-peat, the 49ers, I think, were the best team that tried to do it. They were 14-2 or something like that, heading into that 1991 Super Bowl, that playoffs. And I remember, dude, Roger Craig fumbles the ball. You're in the Bay Area. Roger Craig fumbles the ball. They end up losing to the Giants. The Giants go to the Super Bowl. They play the Buffalo Bills. The Bills miss the field goal kick. Right? That's the first Super Bowl. But that's what I'm saying is that the narrative that's forgotten in that first Super Bowl loss of the Bills is that was the year the 49ers were supposed to three-peat. That was that year. They were the most dominant team going into the 1990s, going to 91, and then they lost. They lost their chance to be a three-peat. And I think the only other team that tried was the Cowboys tried, but remember they lost to the 49ers.
Yeah.
So that was the Steve Young, Deion Sanders, Ken Norton year, right? Yeah. And then I think the Patriots tried, and then the Patriots lost too. So, dude, trying to go for three-peats it's almost like a curse, man. Like you could try, but and then if you look at what's going on with the Chiefs, I'm sure you saw it, Rafa, but like 2 of their linemen got arrested for like marijuana possession or something like that. Rashee Rice probably won't even be playing the first 6 games of the year. Like, they're already in disarray, dude. Like, Travis Kelce's going out to concerts. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if they got the same hunger and passion.
Yeah, it's I think the league is gonna, because that's kind of what happens too, is when, you know, teams start talking about, hey, we're about to three-peat, and then the league gets pissed off. They're like, nah, we ain't gonna let this happen. So I think the league is gonna catch up to KC, and I think finally we get some help, and then all we got to do is just do our job in the division, you know, because if we take care of our business, we'll be okay. If our defense, we got better, especially in the trenches. We drafted good players and brought back important pieces up front. Like when we brought back Adam Butler, John Jenkins, all these, you know, like most of the time, you know, for us in the last, say, 8 years, it's always been like a 1-year deal here, bring this guy in to help, and then pretty much if he plays,
you got a point.
You know what I mean? If he plays good, another team picks him up the next year. If he plays bad, it's just like, well, another bust that we brought in here, you know. But it's like we finally are keeping pieces, and our team is getting younger. You know what I mean? We're getting that experience. We're getting players that'll be here for the future. Now we got Brock Bowers, we got Mayer, even though that's not defense, but I'm saying like pieces like that. We got our future tight end set for life now. You know what I mean? For the next 10 years or whatever it is. You know, like defense, we accidentally got Jack Jones just on a fluke. You know what I mean? Of AP speaking up for him, and we got a number one corner out of the thing after losing Marcus Peters. And just imagine what our DB room would have looked like after, without Jack Jones. He gave us some good highlights, gave us some good things to look forward to. Now imagine if Hobbs can stay healthy, if Trevor Merritt can take another step forward, because a couple years ago, it seemed like he was almost there. Like he would almost get to the ball, and then it seemed like last year he was getting there. So he's starting to trust what he sees. So that's it's taken a little bit, but I believe he can. And then this is a contract year for him, right? This is his last year before.
Yeah, I can look that up real quick. But yeah, I think you're right about Trayvon Moehrig. I don't think he has a 2025 contract.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's part of the reason why we also have Trey Taylor from Air Force. I think he's going to shock a lot of people, man. That guy's pretty solid. Like, we'll see how he converts, but Trey Taylor's 24 years old, but man, that dude, he might take that job, honestly. Yeah, either that or he'll be the one learning under Marcus Epps. But the other thing is, I don't know, dude. I kind of like Chris Smith from Georgia. I don't know what you think about him, but I kind of like him. We'll see. I guess we'll see. We'll see how well he does.
Yeah, that's the key. Like, I really haven't seen too much from him, because like last year, I think he was more of like a special teams guy. But yeah, I don't, to be honest, I can't even tell you, because I didn't see enough to kind of figure if he belongs or if he's, But what about him do you like, though? Like, kind of so far?
Chris Smith, I think if you watch him in Georgia, like he's got, I mean, I don't know. Like, again, because we didn't see enough of him. I think that he's got that mentality. I mean, he's coming from obviously a national championship type school. Yeah. He was one of the key leaders and players. But like I said, like Trayvon Moehrig, if he is going to continue to be a Raider, then we'll know if in the offseason he gets extended, then that means he did well.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't get extended, dude, and the Raiders are like, nah, man, we'll let you play it out, bro, that means one of those other guys is going to replace him, man. Like, that means somebody else stepped up. And I'm not hating on him because I like him. I'm just saying, sometimes, again, man, you're either a part of the system or you're not. I mean, like, like you like Moehrig, so tell me all the reasons why you think he's going to end up having a good year this year.
I don't know, like how I was saying with like him trusting what he sees, because there were so many plays. I think that was 2021 season where there would be throws. I remember at the Niner game, there was that kind of towards the end how we kind of lost. They were able to, I don't know, it was a high pass. Like, I think the ball got deflected in the air, if I'm not mistaken, and it seemed like slow motion, and like he almost got to it, but he was a little slow in getting there. But yeah, that was the thing. Like, he was always kind of a step behind, a couple years ago, and I felt like he was making some plays actually last year. So I feel if he can continue to do that, I think he can get him an extension, because I'm not sure if Epps, not that we won't want to keep him, but that he might go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because it depends kind of what we do this year. Like, if we're making that step, if we do make the playoffs, then there's probably a chance that, he feels this team can grow and he's not going to want to look elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I agree. And by the way, thanks guys for continuing to comment. We're paying attention to the chat, but you're right, Afakasi. No, you're right. He didn't do diddly. Chris Smith didn't do jack, but there's a lot we could say. Jacorian Bennett, did he do jack last year? But I think he's gonna have a big year, right? I think there's something like, trust me, bro, like Chris Smith, I'm pretty sure he was in the same team that Zamir White was in. I think them Georgia guys in the Raider team, they got a little chemistry thing going. So, but I agree with you that I think the offseason will basically tell us who's going to get kept in that safety room. But Trey Taylor, man, that dude, 6 foot tall, over 200 pounds, hits like a monster. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people, man. I think you want to talk about a steal, Jason. I think we stole Trey Taylor. I think we stole that guy from Air Force. So you're right, man. So we'll see. But when you're talking about Moehrig, if he gets extended, bro, that means he's going to be a Raider. Yeah. You know what I mean? But if they don't extend him in the offseason, that means his job's up for the taking. So we'll see. We'll see.
Guys, we have a hater in here. We got B-side interviews, man. No, shout to B-side interviews, man.
Hey, the Charger guy?
Nah, he's actually a Niner. He's even worse.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's funny. Shout out to the Niners, though, guy. I mean, I'm sure your team will do well as long as you're.
Oh man,
all I know is AOC is better than Purdy. I'm just saying.
It is. Yeah, it is. But I gotta tell you for this one, because I'm gonna making some food right now, and probably I'm gonna do some another stuffs in the whole life. But there are some 5 things that I would like to shock the entire world, because there's 5 reasons that we can shock the entire world. So there's 5. Actually, there's 5. All right. So there's first one. There's AOC, which he had the greatest one. Number two is gonna be the defense. Number 3, consistency. Number 4, leadership, about for Antonio Pierce, Max Crosby, and a whole locker room. And number 5, which is like the mentality. Because if we got like one of the toughest schedule, I mean, there's an opportunity, because remember when we just won against Chargers, make like a historical run. Also, we just won against Chiefs on Christmas. So we had the last team winning against Chiefs. So right now is about to get redemption. It's about to get rebuilt. And it's about to get time to stop lurking. No excuses, no gimmicks. It's to get back to work right now. And I gotta tell you for this one, I know that I had to go to make some stuff right now at live, but thanks for having me. And of course, salute to everybody else. Salute to Raider Nation Jason. Also, Angelo, my brother, salute to you. And let the people never forget that today is going to be very important for all these Mission Martial Arts fans and boxing fans coming out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Hey, Rafa, before you go, are you about to go? Are you about to go watch the 5 versus 5, the Zone DAZN pay-per-view? Wilder versus Zhang.
Oh yes, not only the 5.
That's why he's leaving us, Jason. I'm just kidding.
See the 5-on-5?
Yeah. No. I'm just messing around. I'm messing with you, Rafa. But on the 5 versus 5, on that Wilder versus Zhang, who do you have winning that one?
Ooh, they're gonna be like Wilder. I'll go with Wilder. I will go
even with the 70-pound difference.
Yeah, I didn't even know if there's a difference, because it's gonna be like an upset. But yes, but right now I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. So salute to everybody, and don't be surprised if I can go to something about the special for the fight about for this Saturday, which is, don't be surprised if I go to live about for the live event for the UFC 302. So I will keep that informed. So anyways, salute to everybody else. Salute to Raider Nation. Also to Fakasi, everybody on the chat. And this guy right here, the B-side interviews. Guess what? You're not going to make it this year. You're not going to make it, because your whole team sucks. Your whole team sucks. So there you go. Have a good one, guys.
See you, Rafa.
Hey, appreciate you, Rafa. Man, appreciate you, brother. Yes, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. See, B-side, you came in the wrong place playing, man. This is not a safe environment for you to be talking reckless like that.
So he needs to get that energy out in the morning. Hey, just make sure you keep that energy when the season starts, though, bro. Yeah. You guys are a house of cards, man. Yeah. You're like one CMC injury away from not being a playoff team.
So. Need I remind you? You guys have to see us in our house. It's preseason, but you know how it goes. You know what I mean? We got our 3rd string quarterback can tear y'all up. We could put.
That's true, actually. Anthony Brown Jr. is no joke, man. Like that guy's like a little mini Lamar Jackson. You know, like he's pretty good. He doesn't suck.
We gonna sit Gus Bradley's son on you.
So we might actually, for the Niner game, man, you might be surprised. We might have Gardner starting that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say it because that's what I was wondering too. Because you know how good AOC was last preseason, right? Kind of just kind of putting it together.
Yeah.
I was like, I can only imagine he gonna just be shredding people through. You know what I mean? This year, because everything's gonna be slowed down now. Everything's gonna be a little bit slower.
I think once the off-season battles are over, once if they say Aiden O'Connell is the starter, I think they'll do that whole rhythm, right? Where they'll let him play a little bit of the first game, and then they won't even really play him that second game, and then they'll let like Gardner Minshew do it in the first half, and then it's the third game where they'll let Aiden O'Connell play, the majority of the game just to kind of get his rhythm going. But in that first game or in that Niner game, I think you're probably going to see Gardner Minshew play the first half, and then Anthony Brown or Carter Bradley playing the second half. But I don't see the 49ers winning that game anyways. Nah. like their depth chart is it's caca, man. Like your guys' depth is not that good. Like you're okay. Like you're not great.
Yeah, they're definitely on that that decline.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how many more Super Bowls do you guys want to go to and lose? Like 3. That's 3 in a row so far. So I think you guys should just give it up, man. Like you guys got your 5.
Plus this year is Brock Purdy's contract year. I'm pretty sure that Brock Purdy's agents aren't gonna let him go a whole year. I mean, maybe because technically they could franchise tag him, so maybe they'll let him go. But no, the fun ride's about to go over. Because what's the franchise tag now that the quarterback is like 55 million or something crazy, isn't it? Like or no, because it count Dak Prescott's money counts, right? So that's 60 million, and it's supposed to be, what is it, like 70% is the franchise tag or something crazy like that? Like, bro, if you franchise tag Brock Purdy, it's still gonna be like 35 million or something crazy like that, man. Like,
and is he worth that?
I mean, you got to say that he's worth at least what Daniel Jones is.
Oh yeah,
and Daniel Jones is 40, right?
Yeah.
So he's in that 45 million range. But the minute the 49ers do that, Jason, the minute the 49ers got to pay that 45 million, man, that's it. It's over. They're done. Like that's kind of our advantage right now, is we have money and we still have Aiden O'Connell. We could just keep playing that game. Like, Aiden O'Connell's going in the second year. If he does extremely well, then he's still going to be in the rookie contract third year. We could probably just extend him on the cheapie if we wanted to, right? Yeah. Like that's what they did with Justin. Like people forget, like that's what they did with Justin Herbert. Mm-hmm. Justin Herbert got the extension, I think, on his third year because they didn't want to have to play this $60 million a year game with him. Yeah. They just was like, hey man, we'll extend you now so that we can have one more rookie year contract out of you.
Yeah, that's crucial for us too, because us being able to save a little money and get the players that we need, like the Wilkins, him and Max, that's gonna be nuts. I can't wait to see it.
Bro.
So who are they gonna double team? Which pick your poison, because somebody's gonna get you.
Yeah, no, that's the thing too. Is like when you really look deep into our depth chart, we got that kid, man. I'm telling you, that McCall kid. I don't know if you've seen him yet, Jason, but he's every bit as big, the same size as what was that guy everybody was excited about from Texas coming out of the draft? Remember, everybody kept wanting him. What was his name? The guy that played right next to Byron Murphy.
Oh, DeAndre Sweat or Devondre Sweat?
Tavondre Sweat or whatever.
Yeah,
so we have a guy that's the same size as Tavondre Sweat, Marquand McCall, and I think he's going to be our 2-down nose tackle this year. And he eats up bodies, bro. So like that's the thing, is like I think people forget, like in the depth chart, bro, our D-line depth chart's pretty high. We got some good players, and I mean, you interviewed Nesta Jade. I think Nesta Jade is still in the roster, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they let him go yet. I think they're still trying to give him a chance.
I know. I heard he wasn't practicing this last week, so I don't know if it's injuries or what it was, but There was a couple people, and then I heard. Remember Colton Miller? I heard Colton Miller has the shoulder problem still.
Yeah, I think that's why we picked up Glaze, bro,
Mm.
and that's why we picked up Pete.
So
Is that left side?
I wonder will we switch Mumford to that left side then? Because you know,
No,
that-
dude, I think we're gonna put
Yeah.
Pete there.
yeah. Well, because you know, Thayer his side is originally the left side, but they
Oh,
stuck
is it
him-
really? I thought he
Yeah.
was okay.
Yeah, he was
You think he
originally
can play left tackle though,
Yeah,
man?
that's his special side because he's been playing kind of out of place at the right tackle because of course Colt Miller. But if say we put Thayer on that left side and then we have either was Pete on the right side or left side?
I thought Pete was left guard. But when here, let me look it up. When he got drafted, Andres Pete was the number 13 overall pick when he got drafted, man.
Yeah.
So he like again, that pickup was big for us because he doesn't suck. But let me see. I think he played right tackle.
Okay.
Or maybe maybe he did play left tackle. Hold on. I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, no, I mean, a 6'7", 316. Like I thought the reason why we picked him up so that he could be our left guard. And then
Yeah, that's what I
DJ
was
Glaze was going to be the kind of like the backup rotational tackle between whoever gets injured, Colton Miller or Thayer Mumford. Like I thought that's why we got Glaze, but
Yeah. Okay,
here.
so he was on the right. Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna be crazy. And then dang, that's crazy. Because if we, Colt Miller's been solid for us for some years now.
yeah, Pete before he got injured, I think he made it to the Pro Bowl 3 times. Like he doesn't suck, bro. Like he's pretty good.
Say hello. All right. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna.
So here you go. Check this out. In college, he was considered ranked 5-star recruit. He was considered the second best offensive tackle in his class. That was Andrews Pete back before he got drafted.
So
I think he can play left tackle, bro.
So we got good depth.
Yeah, like that's what I was saying is if that might have been the reason also why we got Andrews Pete is in case something happened to Colton Miller is we had that as the insurance. But I didn't realize that, man. That's news to me. You're saying Thayer Mumford is better at left tackle? Wow.
Yeah, that's where he started. He was a left tackle, and then of course, due to injuries and everything like that. Because I think that's why we played Illuminar so much at right tackle, just because he was a little bit more kind of comfortable, I guess, at it than Thayer. That's what kind of took Thayer a little bit to kind of get used to. That's why I kind of took him longer to kind of go with Thayer, but he did good. I feel like he did good on that right side.
Huh. I didn't. Yeah. No. Now I'm gonna start looking that shit up. It's like I think he only played like left tackle once last year. That's why I didn't think.
Yeah,
he was
that's
left tackle.
Yeah, because remember, and then see that's a good point too. Because remember, oh wait, no, that was the game. Remember, I think didn't he come back early, Colton Miller? Because it was one of those things they were struggling.
Yeah,
on.
yeah, because that's right. Like Colton Miller came back even though he was injured, and it helped them win that game.
Yeah, that's what I said. I remember that. That's why I was like, man, shout out to him for doing that. He was beast mode. But I think maybe this is the same injury. This could be the same injury from last year. And
Yeah, see, look, it's in the 2016 season, Andrews Pete started as left guard. But he also played left tackle when Teron Armstead suffered a knee injury. So he's a left side guy, man. That's why I didn't know what we were going to do with Dylan Parham, because once we signed Andrews Pete, I was kind of like, oh, okay. Like then that's when I thought, oh, that means Dylan Parham's out.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? Because like JPJ, if he's going to play guard, they gotta, like, what are you gonna do? Like, you gotta put him at right guard, even though I think he's probably gonna be better at left guard. I mean, honestly, bro, like, I'm still split on that one. Like, I'm so happy that we got JPJ because he was my other guy that I wanted. I wanted Talisi Fuaga and I wanted Jackson Powers Johnson. But I mean, shout out to Andre James, and I'm glad he got paid. But bro, I think we should just start Jackson Powers Johnson at center, man. I mean, I just think they should just do a fair competition. And if Jackson Powers Johnson is just better at center, they should just let him be the center and figure something else out for Andre James. I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm not trying to take away the dude's job. I'm just saying, everybody always talks about Gardner Minshew taking away Aiden O'Connell's job. Well, if you guys are willing to do that, I'm willing to have Jackson Powers Johnson be the starting center because I think he's badass, man. Yeah. 335 pounds as a center, bro.
Yeah.
He's gonna give. I know people think I'm crazy when I say I think he can handle Chris Jones one-on-one, but I think he can handle Chris Jones one-on-one. I'm not saying he's gonna beat Chris Jones, guys. I'm just saying I think he can handle him. And to have someone who can handle him one-on-one helps us out. So
yeah, I think we did more good than we did bad for a change. You know what I mean? We definitely stack because finally we got some good depth too. Like because even our from to the UDFAs, because there's some players that have kind of sparked some interest there too. And it was kind of like, we haven't been putting together a good team, like because our failures comes from our bad drafting. It's like picking the wrong players because it's like the players are there. We just have to select them. Like we worry about too much stuff instead of what they could do on the field. That we're worried about character and all this kind of stuff. We need football players, and it's like as players mature and stuff like that, they're gonna get, they're gonna shake that kind of stuff off. But we need to put the talent on the field. We go against KC's and the Bills, all these kind of teams that are, consistently in the playoffs every year. And it's like, it takes talent. And as these good teams are getting better, we have to also get better. So hopefully we can.
Hey, did we get through I know we were kind of in the middle of it with Rafa, but did we get through your list? I think we got to the third reason why, right?
Yeah, it was funny. He as he was naming his 5, I was like, damn, he's got, I think, about 3 out of the 5 that I had. He had a couple different ones, but let me see. My thing was AOC.
Aiden O'Connell was the third reason.
Yeah, I want to say the 4. What do we do? Oh yeah, the 6. So going 6-0. We have the coach, the defense, and then now AOC. Now
Aiden O'Connell. He was your 5th reason.
Yeah.
Why? Hey, look, first off, let me just say about Aiden O'Connell, because I'm a big Aiden O'Connell guy, just like you, Jason.
Yeah, definitely.
So Scangarello, who's our quarterback coach, was talking about Aiden O'Connell. Now, here's the thing about Scangarello that you guys should know. He was the one that was in Kentucky when they had Will Levis. And then I think he also helped Devin Leary, who got drafted. I forgot where Devin Leary went now, but he went to a pretty good team too. And Scangarello actually the Denver Broncos wanted him to be the offensive coordinator.
Okay.
So that's how good that quarterback coach is. So I want you guys to think about it this way. Aiden O'Connell is coming from the fact that last year when he had to be the starter for 9 games straight, his offensive coordinator was the quarterback coach who had never been an offensive coordinator before. And I'm not hating on Bo Hardegre, man. I'm just keeping it real, right? The guy was like interning as a offensive coordinator, but really, Jason, he's a quarterback coach and he's just trying to get his legs under him as a quarterback coach, right?
Yeah.
This year, Aiden O'Connell's quarterback coach is someone who is good enough to be an offensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? Like it's reverse now. Like his quarterback coach is so good that guy could be an offensive coordinator for a regular NFL team. And then his offensive coordinator is so good that he runs the system that the Raiders just drafted for him. 2 tight into 21 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, right? Rotating running backs, zone scheme. Like, bro, the difference is going to be night and day. And if Aiden O'Connell could win 5 games, lose 4 in a 9-game stretch with no offensive coordinator, with a shit show coaching, that happened to him, versus this year, Jason, he's got a quarterback coach is good enough to be an offensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator that's got a high-powered offense that can help them, an offense in where literally, like when you know how you were talking about defense, who you going to guard, right?
Yeah.
Well, in offense, who you going to guard?
Exactly.
You know, if you double team Devontae, you already saw Jacoby's good enough to be wide receiver 1. But let's say you somehow cover Devontae and you somehow cover Jacoby. That's the whole reason why we have Brock Bowers. Because Michael Mayer is a nightmare to cover. And if you try to cover Michael Mayer one-on-one, you let him get those little short dump 5-yard ends or whatever, or them little, like, what do you call them? Them little like curl, those little like back, like kind of like flat curl or whatever. Like, like, bro, he's gonna destroy you, man. The guy's like 270. So you're gonna have to figure out how to, and people forget, like, take a look at the year that Michael Mayer got drafted. That year for Notre Dame, he was the offense. Like the guy's crazy good, man. He doesn't suck. So that's what I mean is Brock Bowers kind of takes us. He kind of takes that Hunter Renfrow spot. In a way. And gives, you know, like a kind of a hybrid, you know what I mean? Like it's weird, right? Because like he's 245, but he runs fast enough to be a running back and a wide receiver, right? You can there was formations in Georgia where they ran him from the backfield, bro. Like they put him in the backfield and they did like sets that way. I'm telling you, man, he's a game changer, dude. He's almost like a Joker, like a I don't know how you're gonna cover him, honestly. Like, so that's what I'm saying is unless barring injury again, which is why I think we're not gonna fuck around with tight end. I think that we're gonna end up keeping Harrison Bryant. I think we're gonna have Michael Mayer, Harrison Bryant, and I think it's gonna be Zach Gentry. I think he's gonna stay. But you're right though. Cole doesn't suck. Cole Frothingham's pretty good. So he doesn't suck. I think Horstead's still there. I think Shanker or something. Shanker's still there. So we'll see, bro. We'll see.
It's definitely going to be a lot of fun this season. And since we we talked about the 5, but of course I'm gonna throw in a little bonus, a little bonus for the people. You know, another reason why we're gonna shock the world. Offense is going to light teams up. We've only seen a glimpse. We've only seen a glimpse of what we can do. 63-21. Well, remember that? And that was what we had last year. We have speed now everywhere. And so one of the things, this is kind of more for the defense, but so remember Ja'Cory Bennett was one of the fastest corners in the draft last year. Okay, we got Richardson, which was one of the fastest.
Kamarian Richardson, bro. He does kickoffs. That guy can run, man. That guy is fast.
So as you can see, so for KC, right? Remember they picked up Hollywood Brown. They picked up whoever was the clowns.
Xavier Worthy.
So
I'm right there with you, bro. I think the Kamarian and Ja'Cory can cover them. I think that's the reason why we needed speed too, is because it's like if you actually look at our roster and you really do a deep dive, I think that we're picking the players on the 53 that can compete against our division. I think that's what we're doing. I think it's like we don't really care about the other ones. I mean, we do. We care about winning, but we care more about going 6-0 at the division. Because I think that's AP's whole plan. He's like, if we go 6-0 in the division, then we're in the playoffs. It doesn't matter.
Because if that's a great point, because if we pick, because remember, like for years, our division was one of the best, one of the hardest ones. And it's like, if we can beat, because I mean, who's the Super Bowl champion? KC. So who do we need to be able to beat 3 times a year at least? You know what I mean? It's KC. And it's like that should be the bar. You know what I mean? Because really, if you're beating the best, anybody else under that, you're gonna be like, I just beat KC. I ain't worried about, I'm not worried about the Texans.
And when you're talking about like the bonus reason as to why we're gonna make the playoffs, just remember, guys, are you honestly gonna tell me, even if you're a Broncos fan, that the Broncos are gonna be ready to be a playoff team next year? No, they are not. They're gonna be struggling, and they'll probably be a top 10 draft choice team because they'll barely. If the Broncos win 6 games, bro, I'll be surprised. I'll just say that, because they don't even know who their quarterback's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, what are you doing about that? And then they got all that salary cap issues that they're dealing with because of the whole Russell Wilson thing, that it's going to take them time to build. And then again, man, the unrealistic expectation of the mainstream media talking about the Chargers, bro. Like, I get it, man. Everybody's in love with Harbaugh. Harbaugh's the greatest coach. He won the national championship. Okay, that's nice. That's great. That was college, right?
College.
Yeah, that was college. It's like, okay, now let me see what you do. Like people forget that when he went to the 49ers, the reason why he did so well is there was already a built defense.
Yeah.
The defense was already good, man.
Mm-hmm.
So if B-side is still here, like, yeah, you guys were good because Harbaugh fell into a situation where his defense was already good. And oh, by the way, you happen to have Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like that, like the only thing Harbaugh fell into on this Charger squad is you have Justin Herbert. Okay. Let's say you have Justin Herbert, Rashawn Slater. Okay, cool. Well, last year you were so bad, you were the number 5 pick. Do you somehow believe that having 10 rookies in the 53-man rotation is going to let you be a playoff team? Like, what world are we living in, bro? Like, why did the mainstream media have him going to the playoffs so much? Like, Joey Bosa is only good if he's not injured.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack, I mean, really, I'm not hating on Khalil Mack, and he's cool and all, but honestly, dude, if you take away the 7 sacks or the 6 sacks that he had in the Raiders, what would his stats have been?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't that good, right? Yeah. You know, like, so they don't have like what is it? Like Derwin James, and then who?
Yeah.
Like who do the Chargers exactly have that makes the mainstream media believe that they would win more games than the Raiders? Like, that doesn't even make sense, bro. So, bonus reason for why we're making it to playoffs. The Chargers will probably only win 4 games. Mm-hmm. Denver will probably only win 6 games. So that's already, they're in the bottom rung, and we're chasing the Chiefs, who could easily, if you look at their schedule, could be 0-3 when the season starts, bro. Am I lying?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the first 3 games, dude, look at their first 3 games. It's insane. They got to go Ravens, Bengals, and then they got to play who's the third game? It's a tough team too. Is it Atlanta? In Atlanta, I think they're playing Atlanta in Atlanta.
Let me see. Are you talking about the Chargers?
No, I'm talking about the Chiefs. I was saying the Chiefs could easily go 0-3.
Yeah, I hope they do. I see. The thing is, Baltimore has they struggle with them. I don't know what it is, if it's that defense on them, but I don't know, because they were. I was going for, of course, the Ravens when they played them in the playoffs, and they let me down. Yeah, it's Ravens, Bengals. Yep, and you're right, Falcons.
Dude, if Kirk Cousins is really as good as they say, and that's the third game, that's the home opener, bro, Kirk Cousins isn't trying to lose. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna ask someone in New Orleans that plays for the Saints. This is just a request. You were an ex-Raider. You guys play our division this year. So number 4, if we could just ask you, man, just to do your job and if you don't beat nobody else, beat KC, beat the Chargers, beat the Broncos. You guys ain't beating us. That's out. We coming for your soul. But I'm saying, like, DC, if you ever love the Raiders, if you ever had any kind of get up and go, beat the AFC West except for us. Do your job. Do your job. Help us out.
That would be pretty dope, right? Wouldn't that be like? In fact, you know what? I don't know if anyone's mentioned this yet. This is a good topic, Raider Nation. Jason, this is a good one. What if Derek Carr beats everybody that we needed them to beat this year? Does that make the Raider fans who didn't like him again?
Hey, I'll be like this. Get in there, DC. You know what I mean? Like, welcome back to the family.
Because I didn't even see that angle until you started bringing it up, bro. But you're right. Now I'm gonna look it up. The Saints schedule. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's
They
gonna be
are
crazy.
playing the West this year.
Yep. So we might take it easy on you on week 17. If we won't give it to you too much, but business is business, man. But
Dude,
yeah,
this is a good
yeah.
subject. Hold on, let me stay on this for a second. Hold on, wait a minute. I didn't see this angle at all, but you're right. Because last year they did almost make it to the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So let's see, they played the Panthers, the Cowboys, the Eagles, Falcons, and then they played the Chiefs in October 7th.
Yeah.
Okay, so October 7th they played the Chiefs. Then they played the Broncos October 17th. So they played the Chiefs in Kansas. They played the Broncos in New Orleans. And then they play... hold on.
Let's see.
They played the Chargers in LA. Bro, you're right.
Yeah,
I did not see that. That's a great angle. Bro, that's a great angle. We got to have a take for that angle. Because you're right. If Derek Carr beats the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs for us, do we love them again?
that is a good. I mean, I know for myself, just in the heat of the season and just being, business is business, I'm gonna appreciate him for doing his job, but I will be highly upset. To be honest, I won't be surprised if he doesn't. But the Broncos should. Chargers, I think it's 50-50. Chiefs.
The Chargers he should beat, dude. Come on. Okay, the Broncos, even that one, I'm like, bro.
Yeah,
you have Chris Olave, you have Alvin Kamara still. His team isn't terrible, is it?
But look at the flip side too. Broncos, Saints. The coach, which
Sean Payton.
You know what I mean? So he's gonna be playing his old team. So that's gonna be a spicy game right there because he's gonna want to, prove them wrong. Or I don't know, because when he got traded, I forgot how he even got to the Broncos. Because I think he still had some time on his contract, right? Or did he retire and then come back as the Broncos?
Okay, all right. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, dude. Because the Saints don't suck, right? Like last year, they almost made it to the playoffs. But going into this year, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but the Saints have Chase Young now. So Derek Carr now has Chase Young. Rattlers is backup. He still has Kamara.
Yeah.
He still has Taysom Hill. They drafted Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yeah, that's crazy too.
Okay, so now is Marshawn Lattimore still with the Saints or not?
Ooh, I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he's still with them, right? Like 1 year left on a big deal or something. Like he's not a free agent, bro. So if Lattimore is still with him and then they pair him with Kool-Aid McKinstry, then he's got Chris Olave, and then they took Willie Gay from the Kansas City Chiefs, bro. And Willie Gay was the spy, remember?
Yep.
Okay, Willie Gay was playing with Nick Bolton, so the Saints got Willie Gay now. They got Cedric Wilson from Miami.
Yeah.
They picked up my dude, Talisi Fuaga, number 14.
Yeah.
So they got Fuaga and Kool-Aid McKinstry in the draft, right?
Good one, too. Good one.
And then they got Rashid Shaheed. Remember him? Shaheed, the speedster, bro?
Yeah. And then see with him and Olave, because that's what DC needs. Like DC definitely needs that.
Yeah, he wants people that he can just throw deep.
Yeah, exactly. That's
all he wants.
Yeah.
Right? But that's what I'm saying is he still got Kamara. I'm pretty sure Honey Badger is still in the team, right?
Yeah.
Matthew?
Yeah, he's still there. He's always going to be a problem.
Okay. I don't think Cameron Jordan quit yet. Did he? Did he retire or is he still there?
I think he's still there.
Okay. So if he's still there, they still got Demario. I think they picked up Demario Davis. His team doesn't suck, bro. Like I'm just saying, like I'm just throwing it out there, guys. Like I'm not saying his team's good enough to make it to the playoffs, but it almost did last year.
Yeah.
If they have some players in there, they're good enough to definitely beat Broncos and Chargers, right? So that's two of our division rivals. But if they beat the Chiefs in that first game, bro, October 7th, I mean,
Honey Badger,
are we all starting to be Derek Carr like fans again? Or like, do we like him again if he beats the Chiefs in October 7th?
Yeah, I think especially if we beat him the week 17, I think all will be forgiven because it's kind of personal. Because it's like, just how he left.
That's true though, right?
You know what I mean? Like it was a little, even though our frustration was, it wasn't that he wasn't a good quarterback. It was just for $40 million, we could have definitely did a lot more with that money.
Right.
Instead of giving him, that's the thing. If he was like taking maybe 20, 29 or something like that, we would have been able to kind of work around that. But he was kind of solid in getting his money. So it's like, okay, you picked your money over the team, which is, hey, get your bag.
Yeah,
but
I get it.
For us moving forward to better our team, and look what we've done so far in 2 years, you know what I mean, of what we've got to kind of add to our team. So, it became personal, but, we always need that chip. We always need that something to kind of fire us up for that competition. Because I'm sure when DC comes, he wants to, or, when we play, I'm pretty sure he wants to beat us and show us that we made the mistake of letting him go. But we know the truth. We actually came up in the, you know what I mean? Last year's draft, we came up and we got a gem. So
no, I'm with you on this one, man. I like this take. You might be able to clip this little segment for us right here because
definitely
the question to the Raider Nation would be: would you guys who don't, for whatever reason you had for not liking Derek Carr, would you this year love Derek Carr again as a Raider if he beats the Chiefs? Going into October, that's game 4 for them, I think. He beats the Chiefs, he beats the Chargers, he beats the Broncos, and then we beat them on the New Year's Eve weekend game in week 17. Because by then, we would already know if we're in the playoffs or not.
Yeah.
And if the reason why we're in the playoffs, or let's even say this, what if the reason, bro, why we win the division is because they did beat the Chiefs?
Yeah. That would be
bro,
great.
That's crazy.
So before the schedule came out, right? I wanted the matchup I really wanted the first game to be Saints Raiders because I think at the beginning it would have been a build up, kind of like probably how the Chargers are kind of looking at our matchup. They're like, man, they put it on us last time, so they're probably plotting, trying to give it back to us. But I think that would have been a good matchup with the Saints Raiders because then we could have got it out of the way. Okay, win, lose, whatever it happens. We got it out the way. We move on. See, now it's later in the season, at week 17. But that could be one of us might be putting the other one out. So, you know what I mean? So that's where
this is insane. This is an insane. Like, I didn't even see this angle, and I haven't heard anyone else talk about this angle. But, dude, the Chiefs could be 1-4 in the first 4 weeks because the only game they could win is the Chargers.
Yeah.
Because they could lose to the Ravens, lose to the Bengals, lose to the Falcons at Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then what if Derek Carr beats them week 5, dude, or week 4?
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
It would be week 5 because then they play the Chargers. The Chiefs play the Chargers, and then they they go back home to play the Saints. But Derek Carr goes to Kansas and beats the Chiefs.
And we take number 1 spot after him.
And can you imagine if we start the season 4-1? Let's say we lose to the Ravens.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're 4-1 and the Chiefs are 1-4. And in that game, week 5, Derek Carr beat the Chiefs.
That would be nuts. That would be
crazy. Bro.
And the Super Bowl is in New Orleans this year, and it's in yeah, and then it's San Francisco next year. So any of these Super Bowls, man, should be ours. You know what I mean? Because for one, well, I won't say that one, but for the Niners, because the Niners played in our stadium this last one, so it's our turn to play in theirs and actually win.
So the 49ers Super Bowl is 2026?
Yeah, they got the.
In 2025 is New Orleans?
Yeah, it's New Orleans.
Dude, how poetic would it be if we went to the Super Bowl in the Bay?
Yeah.
And that's the year. Like, how crazy would that be, right?
That would be
like,
nuts.
You want to talk about a full circle moment, bro?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we
You
had
go
to
to
watch
the
these
Bay
clowns.
Area to play your first Super Bowl since
Mhm.
the I guess the last Super Bowl we played is the one we lost in
Yeah.
Tampa, and then the
Yeah.
last Super Bowl we won in was the one in LA,
Yeah.
right? So
Huh.
how poetic would that be, bro?
Yeah, that would be crazy. And then, like it's almost set up for a dang well, like we were talking about that division NFC South being kind of, a little easy. A little easy. It's possible to escape out of there because he, like they almost made it last year, his first year in their system. It was just, I don't know, they just couldn't get it done. Atlanta was kind of a problem for them, but yeah, that would be crazy for them. Imagine that Saints Raiders Super Bowl. That would be off the chains.
Dude, that first of all, I don't think the Saints would make it to the Super Bowl this year anyways, but I am saying they don't suck and they might make it to the playoffs. I mean,
Yeah.
they almost did last year. People keep forgetting that it was between Atlanta, Tampa, and the Saints, and it was like 8 and 9 teams trying to fight each other, right?
Yeah.
So that division is not gonna be less competitive. Baker Mayfield's not trying to lose. Kirk Cousins isn't trying to lose, and I don't think Derek Carr is trying to lose either. So, like I said, I think that might be one of those division where they're kind of going up and down. So every win outside of the division matters in that in that circle, right? So, bro, that's crazy though. Like, I didn't know that this year the Super Bowl is in New Orleans. Now, and again, I'm not trying to be such a homer that I thought we were going to make it to the Super Bowl this year. I thought we would make it to the playoffs and make a run and show everyone that we're coming. But I did not realize that the 2026 Super Bowl was in San Francisco or in Santa Clara, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. But bro, how crazy of a storyline would that be?
Yeah.
2025 season, the Raiders are number 1 again, wins the division, goes to the Super Bowl. And what if they play the Niners, dude?
That would be insane.
That would be the most insane Super Bowl for the Raiders.
Yeah, and that's good money. If NFL, if you're listening, man, that'll be good money because you got the Raider fans, you got the old whatever they call themselves. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be so crazy because I've been wanting one of those since I was a kid, because it's the Battle of the Bay is real.
The historical factor of it, and it's in the Bay.
Yeah,
it's in the Bay.
And we still out here, Raider fans. We still out here. So,
oh man, that would be insane. I did not realize that the 2026 Super Bowl, which is very doable for us, Raider Nation. I did not know that it was going to be in Santa Clara. I had no idea that was what was going to happen. So that's crazy. That is a crazy storyline. So 2024, 2025 storyline, guys, is Derek Carr is the reason why the Raiders wins the AFC division. And it's because Derek Carr beats the West. Except for us. We beat him on New Year's Eve weekend, but then he beats the Chiefs on week 5. Then he beats the Chargers, he beats the Broncos. Further helping the Raiders to become the AFC West champions. We play in the playoffs. Maybe we don't make it to the Super Bowl. But then 2025 season, we repeat as the defending AFC West champions, solidifying that we are the best team in the West now, that you got to go through the silver and black and no longer the red. And we go to the Super Bowl in the Bay Area in Santa Clara against the 49ers, bro. That would be insane. That if the NFL is listening to this, there is no better script than that, man. There is no better script than this. That is insane.
Yeah, we got to get that going because that's going to be, and that's what it's going to be. Because I feel like if we don't make the playoffs this year, then something went wrong. You know what I mean? Because we're built to compete. We're definitely built to compete. We have more weapons than we've ever had on offense. We got the double tight end tandem. We got 2 number 1 receivers. We got speed. We got, the running game. I know we question a lot, but I mean, with our offense and what we're able to do through the air, all we need to do is just run the ball to keep them honest, to be honest, I mean, there's going to be some games where we got to run the ball and melt the clock, but I feel like we can get it done. And we have a play action ready roster, because you can't really focus on anything. You can't focus and put everybody in the box. You know what I mean? You really can't, because we will go over your head. We got weapons. So that's what I say. How are they going to stop us?
Right. No, I mean, look, I was with you when you were talking about the reasons why we're making it to the playoffs, because like you said, but and you're right. Like, it's not talked enough about that. As a defense, we should be top 5, because we ended the year top 5 anyways, and we improved. But as an offense, bro, I think we might be top 10.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, man, if you're playing fantasy, y'all might want to think about picking up Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah.
Because if Luke Getsy does what Luke Getsy's supposed to do, Aiden O'Connell might all of a sudden be y'all's best friend that's a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna prove to people. The people are gonna see that this dude's the truth.
Man, that is, bro. That, I think our take of the day is, I didn't even see that angle. That for all the Raiders who, for whatever reason, they ended up hating Derek Carr or has something against Derek Carr, would they welcome Derek Carr back to the family if he beats the Chiefs, the Chargers, and Denver for us this year? If he's the reason why we become, because it's true, man. We could end up being 4-1 to start the first 5 weeks, and the Chiefs could be 1-4.
Yeah,
that could be the pivotal game right there, bro. That's crazy. Hey, Raider Pete, man. I'm trying to speak it into existence, bro.
That's what I'm saying, man. And it's like, most of the time we're kind of, as fans, we're I know myself. There's times of deliriousness where I feel like every year we can go to the Super Bowl until we don't, but right. I feel like this time I'm speaking out of, our team is good enough to make the playoffs, and consistently, because if we keep stacking to what we are doing, like say these last 2 years of just kind of what we've been putting together, if we just continue to do this, because then next year it's just going to be depth. It's going to be, we're going to be drafting for depth. Like if AOC works out and he saves us from having to draft another quarterback and all this kind of stuff, we'll be okay. Then we can get another running back next year, another safety, next year, another, I don't know. I always like weapons. I always like another wide receiver, because, Devontae's not going to be there forever. So I definitely we want to find that next guy for that too.
I think that's why we got Jacoby. That's why I was saying with the money that we have left, we need to extend him too.
Yeah.
Because wide receiver money's going crazy, man. Did you see what they just paid Jalen Waddle? Like what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah. So they got.
I like that take, Jason. I like that whole. I like the whole. What if the Raiders go to the Super Bowl in Santa Clara? Take. I like the Derek Carr. What if he's the reason why we win the division? That's a good take.
Yeah, I hope he's listening. I hope he's not still bitter. But
I hope so too, man. He says he says like his best friends are like Max Crosby and Devontae, and I don't think he hates the Raiders. I think that there's probably a Josh McDaniels issue there, but I don't think he hates Mark Davis. Like, should he hate Mark Davis? I don't think so.
No, because I appreciate. So the only thing that what's his name, Josh McDaniels and them did, I felt was having the balls to get rid of DC, because it was like, he was a fan favorite, everything like that. But for the future of us, it wasn't gonna help us. All it was gonna do is continue to hurt us. And as hopefully people can see that through the drafts and through free agencies, this needed to happen. Nothing against DC. I'm glad he got his bag in NO. Thank you for your 9 years here, for the Raiders. But, after 9 years, we got to try something else, because we'd be stupid if we had to just say, oh, well, we'll just keep putting hope in this, and then we know what it is. So
Right.
right now, I mean, I don't think there's anybody that would rather have DC over AOC right now. I mean, there's probably people out there, but I would say I'm good with what we got. You know,
Yeah,
like,
I'm great with what we got,
Yeah.
man. I'm right there with you, dude. Like, you guys just got, like, trust me, man. Aiden O'Connell last year won his 5 games. If you look at his actual stats, the stats look good. Like, if he played for another team and he wasn't in our team, you guys would have went, oh man, that guy's pretty good, because he was pretty good. He had good stats last year, right? But he had those stats without an offensive coordinator. His quarterback coach became the offensive coordinator, and he had to deal with all this emotional turmoil. He even talked about it on the Rush podcast with Max Crosby. Like, he aired it out. He was like, hey man, this kind of, and like I said, like, for me, if Aiden O'Connell was a heavyweight fighter, that's the type of fighter that I want. Someone who can emotionally get knocked down and still come back and be a professional and go right back to work. Like, that's the type of guy I want as a quarterback, not someone who's going to get rattled or only wins when things are going well. Like, I want a guy like that. Like, when things are going bad, like when it's going so bad for you that you play the Vikings and you don't score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then 4 days later, you have a career game. What is it? He threw for 4. He threw for 4, ran for 1. Like, it was insane, dude. Like, that 63. Like, he had an insane day against the Chargers on that 63 win. It was 20 completions, 34 attempts, 248 yards. So it was almost a 60% completion rate. 4 touchdowns. Only got sacked once. Like, bro, like, you know, come on, man. Like, again, and then again, people like I always go back to that. We only lost to the Colts because of the Jack Jones play. But for everybody like getting mad, oh, it was Aiden O'Connell's fault, guys. Against the Colts, he went 30 completions for 47 attempts, 299 yards, 63.8 completion rate, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like, what are you mad at exactly? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, why are you guys mad? Like, why are you guys? It wasn't Aiden O'Connell's fault that we lost the Colts game. It was not his fault.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you agree that if AOC had to play the whole year, it would have been I mean, you think
if I wanted him after even the Chargers lost in the first game, I wanted him to play the whole year. Because that, like when we started Brian Hoyer in Chicago, bro, what were we thinking? Like, what was that all about, right? And then you saw what happened once AP said, no, I'm rolling with you. Good, bad, or indifferent, I'm rolling with you. Yeah. Beats the Giants, right? Beats the Jets. So people are like, well, he didn't do great in Miami. We lost in Miami. Just so that you know, statistically speaking, in Miami, he went 24 completions, 41 attempts, 271 yards passing on that game, right? You know, but I get it. Like that, if you're gonna point to a game where you're like, well, he made mistakes, you're right. He did. He threw 3 interceptions. That's true. But I could almost take away like at least one of those because he was playing from behind, kind of desperate on that one. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call that a mistake. And then there was that one play that he did throw the interception, and what was it? Like Jalen Ramsey made that hella good ass interception. Like, bro, that could have been anyone, man. That, I mean, like, come on, like, honestly.
And to be honest, that was a great pick. You know, he dove for that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that could have been Patrick Mahomes. That could have been anybody. So if you're gonna get mad at him for it, but he didn't like again, like sometimes I feel like the narrative is forgotten because they don't look at the stats. They just want to say Aiden O'Connell sucks. Yeah. And it's like, can you like look at the stats before he sucks? Because his stats are pretty good. They don't suck. Like there was I think the Chiefs game that we won, he went 9 completions, 21 yards, 21 attempts, 9 completions, 62 yards. But in that game, he didn't throw an interception, so he didn't lose the game.
No,
you know what I mean, right? In the Chiefs' loss, you can't even blame that on Aiden O'Connell. When remember we were ahead by like 2 touchdowns, and then even AP said that was kind of his fault. Like, you know, like he kind of mismanaged the game, right? But when we were winning against Kansas City at home, and then we ended up losing 31-17, Aiden O'Connell went 23 completions, 33 attempts, 248 yards for almost a 70% completion rate in that game, threw for 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Like, these stats don't suck.
Yeah, they really don't. That's why, like I said, like he showed me just enough to I want to see more, and I'm okay with seeing more. I can definitely, because for his first year, like, and I like the way the kid, like you're talking about him on the rush, right? Like, I like the way the kid processes stuff. I like the way he was, basically he was talking about how he failed kind of that first game, and he kind of had to just sit with it, but he ended up getting that chance again. And he made good with it. Yeah, he struggled, but like you said, that you playing the Kansas City Chiefs, the eventual Super Bowl champions, so he's seen a lot of things. And I think playing this division is gonna, because even with the Chargers, you know what I mean, Harbaugh's gonna show him some stuff. They got what's his name, and Denver. He's gonna show him, he's gonna show him some things he's never seen. So he's gonna get better. He's gonna grow. And it's like all we got to do is just keep getting separation. That's why I like speed. We can get separation, and then let it, because AOC is accurate and he has the guts.
He throws the deep ball, dude. He throws the deep. Yeah. Like if we're all being honest, like stand them up straight up. Gardner Minshew versus Aiden O'Connell, who throws farther. Aiden O'Connell, who throws more accurate. Aiden O'Connell, right? Like I mean, like again, I like Gardner Minshew, but we're paying him backup money to do exactly that. Yeah. Be our backup if something goes wrong with Aiden O'Connell. Yeah. But man, Jason, I think the difference is Aiden O'Connell did not have Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams, that he's throwing to every practice, getting their rhythm, getting their timing. He's going to have Zamir White off the backfield. Even this offensive line, guys, like this offensive line that's going to protect them now. I'm telling you, man, Andrews Pete was a first round number 13 overall pick. So he's basically got picked like Fuaga, right? Yeah. I think he made the Pro Bowl 3 times. He could play left guard, left tackle. But let's say Colton Miller is healthy. Then you put Andrews Pete next to him. Bro, that left side, left guard, left tackle are both 325, 6'8". Yeah. Dude, like, honestly, like, are you going to get through that? Like, if we're being honest, right? Yeah. And then we're rotating them so they don't get injured. So we got like a Glaze backing them up, and we got like whatever, JPJ, Parham, whatever, Cody Whitehair, like however you want to do it. But I think it's one of these times where I think part of the reason why you see the O-line that we have is we're about to have an O-line where we have, you know how like when you're doing a Madden roster? Yeah. Most of the time you try to like not have that as many, or if you're trying to carry more offense, you don't have as many offensive lines. I think this year you're going to end up having a left tackle and then in the roster, a backup to the left tackle, a left guard and then a backup to the left guard, a center and then a backup to the center, another right guard, a backup to the right guard, a right tackle and a backup to the right tackle. And I think at minimum, you're going to have that, dude. You're going to have 10 in the O-line room of the 53. I think 10 of the players that make the 53-man roster will all be O-line. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because that's the crucial thing to keep AOC, in a place where he's comfortable and where he can do what he does. We need this line to protect. That was the struggles kind of last year, because it was like they did a pretty good job most of the time. Motherfucker. Sorry. A little, they did the job most of the time, but there was those crucial 3rd down and 1s that we could not, where we try to run twice in a row with 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and we were just failing. And that stuff, we got to get that push. It's like we got to get that push. And the line, I feel like we did a good job getting pieces in. I just want to see what it looks like on the field, to see this kind of. Remember a couple years ago they were trying to piece together the line, and they kept every week was like a different rotation where they were trying to find kind of what works.
Yeah, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, so I think for the most part they got it figured out, because I feel like they know a lot more than we know that they You know, if that makes sense. Like they know they got some gems. You know what I mean? Like we kind of have doubts on different pieces, but they see a lot more than we see. We see them they see them on an everyday basis. So
yeah, no, like I said, guys, like when it comes to tackle or like again, I just think about the 10 that might be there, but if you like sound them out in your head, right? Like think about it, Jason. So you go Colton Miller, Andrews Pete, Andre James, right guard will probably be JPJ. Let's just say JPJ gets it, right? That's 4. And then you're saying Thayer Mumford will be right tackle. All right. So let's go with that 5, right? Yeah. So then you to back them up, you still have DJ Glaze, Dylan Parham.
Yeah, Parham.
All right. Probably would Jordan Meredith make it at center? Maybe. Ooh, right? Because AP kind of likes him.
Yeah, and Parham played center too.
Oh, did Parham play? Okay, so maybe Parham's a center, right?
Because that's why I say it's crazy. We got a lot of people that play center, but are they going to go with James, or is James going to be the guy? Like, how do you?
I don't know yet. Like, that's why I kind of want it to be JPJ, but I'm just thinking of so then if so we got our first 5, and then our backup 5 is, let's say you have Glaze, Cody Whitehair. We got him. That's from the Getsy system. We got him from the Bears, right? And then we got Dalton Wagner at the right tackle from Arkansas, right? 6'8", 325. And then that, I guess that backup wise, Parham would be a backup of some sort. So that's 4. So that's why I was asking you, like, then if the backups are DJ Glaze, Cody Whitehair, Dylan Parham, Dalton Wagner, who makes that 5th one? Like, is it Jordan Meredith who AP kind of likes him, or I mean,
because he's been in our system for the last
for a bit,
2,
right?
Yeah, I was gonna say so. Yeah, I would say him unless somebody else kind of steps up and kind of shows something. But I haven't really heard any. Like last year they were talking about Adam Plant and different players that were kind of sticking out, but I really haven't heard a lot of besides Bowers, besides who was that they were saying that was
there's this one
Labe was kind of standing out and
right no I'm focusing more on the O-line. Like Hollywood Raider told me that Will Putnam from Clemson, who we got in the UDFA, 6'4", 310 center, not to sleep on him. He would be pretty good to keep. But that's why I was asking, like, do we then with Parham I forgot that he could play center, so he would definitely be at least in the backup roles, right? Or he would be a part of that 10 people squad of the 53. But I was trying to think, like, would it be Jordan Meredith? Because Jordan Meredith is listed as a guard, 6'2", 300. Yeah. He's only 26 years old, but I know that AP does like him, right?
Yeah.
We still have Jalen McKenzie, 6'5", 315. But I don't know, bro. I mean, did you like Jalen McKenzie?
Not really too, to be honest, not too familiar.
With him? He's a tackle out of USC. He was kind of like in that UDFA from last year. I mean, but I don't know. Like, he's still on the roster, so I'm assuming they're trying to give him a chance, right?
Yeah. And then we'll see.
Andre James. What's that?
Oh, I was like, I can't wait till we see these cuts, and you know what I mean, when we get the roster down to, the 53.
Yeah, the 53 man. Yeah, no. Because some of the new guys like Andrew Coker from TCU, I remember when we would do the draft, like the drafting, like the pretend drafting, I would pick up Andrew Coker in the 7th. And he's 6'7", 320 from TCU. He's a tackle, so I don't know. He's an undrafted rookie free agent. So maybe he'll make it, but he could play tackle. Ben Brown, I think he had he played with the Broncos, I think, but he's with us right now. I mean, a lot, like I said, like I thought that we would definitely for sure keep at least 10. So of the 53, we would have 10, which is Which, by the way, like if you're playing Madden, that's kind of insane to have 10 O-line, but but like that's what I do usually.
Yeah.
I usually put 10 O-lines in there just in case, right?
Yeah, it definitely depends on. I just hope Colton Miller can
Cannot get injured.
can heal up, because I mean he's our best lineman at this point but like I said, things happen, and shoot, somebody else might come and take that spot. So whoever the best person is at that position, I want you to play.
No, for sure. Well, hey man, no, this was fun. This was fun to do.
Definitely
had good flow,
man.
It would have been cool to have like Africa maybe next time.
Like,
again, the 9 o'clock time for me is a little rough just because the medication and everything.
I'm gonna actually, because I know for Avokasi too, it's gonna be, because technically in the morning for us is night for him. Right. So I was gonna say we'll have to find like a time, because the mornings for me is kind of rough too, because today's my day off, right? So you're kind of in sleep mode, but you're like, I gotta do the job though. I gotta get it done. But I might switch to more nights, because I'm definitely I'm a morning person because of work, but on the weekends I just try to give, because I know there's kind of nothing going on in the morning on Saturday, so that's why I just try to.
No, Saturday's a good spot, but is there a reason why you never tried Saturday at like 11 in the morning? Because what time would that be for Avokasi?
Oh,
let me see. He's Australia.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Let's see.
He's Australia time. Let me see.
Yeah.
What time is it right now? Because right now is that sweet spot. It's like 11:30. So let's see.
11 actually would be good for me too, because in that way I can, and then we could do something like that. Yeah, because sometimes it's like it sounds good when you're making the show at nighttime, and then you wake up, you're like, oh man.
Right. So for him, it would be Sunday at 4:30 a.m., which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for him. But like an 11 and 11. Well, it depends on where he's at actually, because I don't know which part of Australia he's in. Yeah. If he's in Kingston, it would be closer to 5, and if he's in Perth, then it's closer to 1. So I don't know. I don't know what part of Australia he's in, but
hopefully he's in that one where it's closer to 1. Hopefully.
Yeah. No, but I mean, think about that. Like, think about like an 11 a.m. or something, or I don't know. Like who else is doing shows, Raider content on Saturdays at noon? Oh, we're talking about you, Avokasi. We're trying to figure it out so that we could have you jump on, on a show. But we're trying to figure out like what time zone you're in. Like, what time is it right now, Avokasi, wherever you live? Thanks, SoCal. Thank you, man. We try to put out good content. I appreciate you, SoCal.
Yes, sir.
But no, Avokasi, what time is it right now, wherever you're at? 2:30 a.m. Okay, so he is so he's closer to Perth. He's closer to Perth, Australia. See, I told you it's different.
So, Avokasi, if we set up a show at 11 o'clock our time, would that be good for you for like next weekend? You can see if that'll work. We can put it together. I'll say it's 2:30 a.m. It's about 15 hours ahead of you guys in Cali. Yes, sir. Yeah,
Jason will hook up with you, and if you could do like because you're up right now, obviously, so you're probably not sleeping. But if you could do like an 11 a.m. Las Vegas time, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, like 11 a.m. and I should be switching to prime time. I should be going to the nighttime anyway. So, but yeah, I definitely want to because it's kind of like the first year was kind of figuring out a time that was cool. I used to do 8 a.m. and that was crazy, but it was
so we're talking about next Saturday. It would be June. What is it? June 10th, 11th, 12th? Is it the 12th? Or I don't know. I don't know what day it is. The 7th? Yeah. I think it's the 7th.
Yeah, I want to say it might be the 7th because today's first. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Avokasi says he's down, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Jason, seriously, like Avokasi's great, bro. He's awesome for 2 hours on a podcast.
Definitely
So, man.
Great
But no,
conversation.
if you want to do it next, because Puerto Rican, it's Puerto Rican, Puerto Rican weekend, Puerto Rican Heritage Weekend, June 8th, Saturday. So if you want to do it 11 a.m., Jason, I'm down. If Afakasi wants to do it, I'm down.
Hey, then it's set. Yeah, we'll be back next weekend, guys, with the 11 a.m. show. Yeah, but I know that's good for everybody too, because nobody wants to get up early in the morning, and
No, while you're trying to figure it out too, Jason, just keep
Yeah.
in mind that the thing about a Saturday for Raider Nation content is if you pick Saturday night, you might be alienating people like me or others who are watching fights.
Yeah,
Because that's the fight. Because Saturday's a big fight day, man, and
yeah.
and the fights are huge right now for boxing and in MMA, bro.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like Conor
Yeah.
McGregor's he's fighting June 29th, so I know Afakasi will watch that at least.
Yes, sir.
Because Conor McGregor interests him. that's what he said. But yeah, no, I know. I'm sorry, Afakasi. We were trying to figure it out, man. We were trying to figure out. We can split the difference with you if you want. We could try to do 10 a.m.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could try to get you because 10 still a good time.
10 still not terrible. Yeah. I at least would have been able to take my medication already by then. And
you're all good, man. I definitely appreciated having you on, man. You brought a lot of life to the stream too. Definitely good points and definitely good, comments and everything. I wish we had did this sooner, but it happened right on time. You know what I mean?
No. It's good. And I know, Jason, you're not. I'm trying to turn a lot of you guys back into watching boxing again because it's such a good place. So again, today it's starting right now. It's the 5 versus 5 tournament. If you guys like boxing, it's on DAZN, DAZN pay-per-view. It's the first time you're seeing 6 12-round fights, all title fights. You're seeing some of the very best fighters in the world. But the big main event is Deontay Wilder fighting tonight. The man's got basically a 100% knockout ratio on all of his wins.
Yeah.
He is the baddest, hardest hitting man on the planet. And if he somehow beats this 6'6", 282-pound gorilla in Zhilei Zhang tonight, we have an American superstar back, and you're going to hear about boxing the rest of the year. So it'll be pretty cool. Let's see. Afakasi says, he's right. No, I agree with him. That's why the morning, like this Saturday morning sweet spot's a good spot. So
it was cool. Yeah, that was my whole thing while I was watching, because I respect a lot of the Raider content creators, and it's just out of respect. We don't step on toes, and I'm saying, all that kind of stuff. We let them get their floor, so everybody has their slot to do what they do.
No, and then Afakasi. No, I know you weren't watching tonight's UFC. Yeah, I'm sure you could care less. But I was just saying that Conor McGregor is fighting on June 29th, and you said that you would watch Conor McGregor, so he's coming back, man. But no, that what me and Jason were talking about is the boxing, because Turkey Al Sheik's been making boxing huge, and we just had the fight of the century with Tyson. Oh, Jason, you don't have that, I don't think. I'm going to send it to you. If you didn't see the Tyson Fury Usyk fight, bro, that heavyweight fight was insane, man.
Yeah, that surprised me too. I thought Fury was going to get that one.
It was close. You didn't get to watch it yet, right?
Yeah, just little pieces of it though.
Okay, I'm gonna send you the whole thing. It's like hella high quality too. It's like 4K YouTube, right? So you can just watch it and then tell me who you thought won, because it was close, bro. It was really close. Yeah. Basically, the judges had it. One judge had it for Fury, one judge had it for Usyk, and then one judge had it as a draw. Okay. But a knockdown happened. Yeah. So that's why Usyk won. Right. So, but for sure, man, this was fun. We'll try to get Afakasi on for next Saturday. We'll keep in touch, Jason.
Yeah, definitely so, man. I appreciate you, Angelo. Glad we can make this happen. And till the next time, man, we're gonna get it. And shout out to Rafa too for jumping on too. Appreciate you. Appreciate Nation. Sorry it was so late. I had a little technical difficulties. I pressed go live, and I thought we were rolling, and we were chopping it up.
It was meant to start at 10 anyways, man. I'm telling you, dude.
That's right. Yep. So, man, Nation, just keep, just believe and just know that this team is a playoff team. You know, I know we haven't put it there yet, but it is. Like this is starting to look good. So we're gonna cook. We cooking this year, and it's gonna be a good feast, man. We feasting on the league. We're gonna surprise a lot of people, and that's from the heart. Like we really are. So we are getting better. So just let's support our team, man. Let's do what we do. And when it's time for us to be there in them stadiums, repping our team, man, let's go. Let's do what we do. Nobody gets loud like the nation. So let's get it. But yeah, appreciate you guys, man. Thank you, Angelo. And until the next time. Yes, sir.